I have a good feeling. I was telling my chat, I have a good feeling about this for some reason for MbL today. I feel like he's gonna have a good day.
All right. Well, I mean, that's a fun feeling. I will say that his draft is a little chaotic. And even game number 1, Civilization Choice, the potential to be chaotic here. So I think that's what MbL is going to need. I think for MbL to have chances to win here, he's got to start strong because it's not a matchup that he has a lot of confidence in. And, except for that one set, which we had the pleasure to cast together in that castle in Heidelberg, not many memories over the past couple of years of Hera going down to MbL. So best of 7, it is like ladder maps, which can be ever so slightly less balanced at times, which you could maybe take advantage of if you're MbL. The big thing here would be the relics all in the middle, for example. We'll see.
Yep. I wonder what the strategy is going to be here with Celts, because you can contest water against Portuguese with the good wood eco from the Celts. But ideally, like, your game plan is to get into Castle Age and go for a siege push, right? But Hera knows that.
Yeah.
So Hera's going to play his entire strategy to try and prevent that. You want to try and prevent the forward. You want to get up to Castle Age at a reasonable time to MbL. And if MbL plays more of a standard Kawasan approach, that could honestly catch Hera a little off guard, I think. If he really wants to contest the water, if he stays in Feudal Age a little bit longer, I think it actually might be better for him rather than going for the standard Celts play of trying to get up to Castle Age as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, Celts aren't your typical pick, but a lot of what we tend to see here, you need the wood, and they have the wood bonus. And then you tend to see a lot of man-at-arm openings combined with water. So you have the wood bonus to get an early dock down. You don't need to have fantastic navy long-term on this map. So Celts certainly fit the build to be able to make some fires and demos. So yeah, that's my guess is MbL just thinks about this and says the Celt man-at-arms can be insanely fast. Hera makes one mistake, he can get punished. So I think Hera's going to have to... some players just don't do this, but I think he really needs to pre-wall in this situation. Instead of waiting to see the man-at-arms, that can be too late. Pre-wall in your resources. You know what's coming with Celts. And don't take any risks.
Well, one thing that Hera is really good at, probably the best, and it's just one of many things that he's the best at, is that early scouting, right? His scouting is just so good. So he knows what's coming towards him at all times. And he knows what your transitions are, in addition to being just really, really good at reading the game. His scouting is exceptional. And that is something that really plays against a player who's going into a men-at-arms in a fast archer build, because then he doesn't need to go for those pre-walls because he knows exactly where the units are, right?
Yeah.
He's constantly paying attention. If MbL can drive away this scout early, then that would be fantastic. Now, Hera sees the scout from MbL. It's over there just a little bit too early, so he might suspect, because it's there, that MbL has docked this pond.
Yeah, I think...
We'll see if he goes over to confirm.
To your point, you do need to confirm that. And then...
Yeah, and he sees it.
Then you're both really thinking, if the other players dock there, do I want to go 2 docks? But the Portuguese have more HP on their ships. So if Hera were to do that, he would almost certainly have the edge on water. It's a very tough map to play, and there's a lot of different things you can do. But Hera's definitely the guy, if he sees an opportunity to receive or dish out damage in an area, he's going to prioritize that first. So I think he is going to focus all of his attention on this pond. He's actually gone for a very fast uptime here, where he's just now adding a fishing ship. So that's to win this pond. And then MbL is actually just going to dock the other side. So I think MbL is going to give up this pond and hope that Hera never moves over to the other one. Or it's a sneak build.
I think he's going to try and sneak the dock on the other side, or he just couldn't find a fish. He just couldn't find a fish. So he's going to go for the dock there. If you dock the other side and then lose your fish, if you're in MbL's position, as long as you have that villager to repair the dock, Hera can't really add a ridiculous amount of fish until he takes out your dock.
Yeah.
Right? Assuming you get to Feudal Age at a reasonable time. So this could be nice for MbL. And the thing with Celts is that you just constantly have enough wood to get the job done, right? You can go double dock here on both sides and still be able to produce navy. You can make the fishing ships over here. It's just a really, really nice bonus, and you can see it reflected in the res collected already. I know some of that is the extra food that MbL brought in with those fishing ships earlier, but a lot of that is also probably the wood.
Hera has some scouting to do here because he sees the Vils go on gold right now. So that will tell him it's not Man-at-Arms from MbL, which it could have been. And he also can't go back. Maybe MbL has pulled that villager on the initial dock and is building a second one. He doesn't really know that just yet. But he doesn't know about MbL's fishing eco on the other side. So that's some nice eco that for the time being, Hera's not going to contest. And yeah, Hera opens with the double fires. Should instantly kill MbL's fish. But we'll see if MbL wants to try a demo there. I would like one demo. Try and kill 2 fishing ships or something, and then you pretty much just give up on that pond.
MbL brought the villager back, so he 100% gives up on that pond.
Yeah.
That is a rare move from MbL. Usually we keep that villager there and just let it die out alone, right? So he's going to actually play safe. He's going to bring that back, and he's going to go for the barracks already. Hera, did he catch that dock? He did. So he sees the dock on the right side.
He also saw 3 fishing ships, too, so that'll give him an idea. MbL's been there for a little while.
Dude, the scouting from Hera is just so impressive. Always.
But it's also good from MbL, too. Like, MbL went to Hera's base, didn't see a barracks, and now MbL is seeing if Hera will come over here. And he's also added that demo, Dave, and here he goes. Hera wants to fish this pond. MbL, unfortunate not to kill that other fishing ship. If that's not a Portuguese fishing ship, that fishing ship goes down as well.
Dude, just sneeze on it.
Just like, use your fishing ship. Just bump into it.
Spit at it. Yeah, exactly. Ramming speed, bro.
Yeah.
It's got 1 HP. Oh, my goodness.
MbL with the barracks up already. He did lose his scout, but he's going to bring a spear. And I just think this is the first time. Like, I've liked both approaches so far, but this is the first mistake we might be seeing. MbL needs to know that Hera's going to dock this pond. He's still trying to be greedy.
He's sending
with
a
the fish.
spearman over.
Yeah.
He is sending a spearman over. So he kind of suspects that this is happening. He won't be in time to stop the dock. That's unfortunate. If he was there maybe 10 seconds earlier, he could have been annoying. Hera probably still gets that up, but he is going for a galley, and the galley is not enough. You got to mix in some fire galleys. Actually going for a second dock now, and another demo on the other side. Actually, double demo on the other side.
It's going to be really tough, though. Like, Hera's never going to lose.
He's making a run for it. No!
Yeah. Again, the initial demo I really liked. Do wonder if it just would have made sense for MbL to simplify his approach and just give up on that pond. You don't want to because Hera can freely fish. But there's so much to look at. Like, we are able to see the tiny details. And it's not easy when you're in the game to get that balance right.
Cancel the second demo. So he forced out with that dock and 2 demos, I guess. He forced out 4 fire galleys from Hera. Hera can freely fish boom over on that side now.
Hera
and
trapping.
He canceled the second demo.
The spearman from Hera, from MbL, sorry, which is funny.
The other spear's trying to kill the Vil. Not gonna happen.
Yeah. And MbL's galley doesn't do all that much. It did force the villager away from the shoreline, though, so he can't repair now. And he has his own fires.
It's crazy that, like, he hasn't followed up the spearman at all. Just typical MbL fashion, right? He just makes spears, and Hera is just now going for the barracks. If this were Sato or Mihai or someone in MbL's position, there would already be 4 or 5 archers at Hera's base with the men-at-arms, right?
Yep.
With a super aggressive build.
It's so... Dude, hybrid is just so fun, right? Like, now Hera has to scout. Now he sees the timing on the range. Now he knows he has to respect it. It's so hard to play to the point where even the best players, they never play this map. This is a ladder map. No one plays this. When it's in rank, they're still only playing Arabia. But it's just so cool to see how many different things they have to focus on and do. And both players have managed it very nicely. Obviously, Hera's got the better KD right now, but MbL's collected more resources. And MbL could move out with just 1 or 2 archers to disrupt Hera. Hera doesn't have any defense for archers right now. He's just now adding his own range. So a slight timing window here for the Norwegian.
It's sloppy on the water contest on the right. MbL definitely had it. He had a weak galley there, or fire galley from Hera.
Yeah.
He had 2 fire galleys attacking it, and he didn't notice Hera was sitting behind the dock. He still has 6 fishing ships, though. So the fish eco is better for him, but Hera obviously going to keep producing. MbL should as well, until that dock is cleared up. And both players now trying to go up to the castle age. Hera did see the archer range from MbL, but the archers are coming over, and he adds a second range of his own.
Hera should be okay. I mean, he'll have an archer in a second, You'd expect him to be able to fight off with some villagers here, potentially. The last thing Hera wants to do is drop a tower here. But I think he'll
like
be okay.
the second range, though, because you got to control the middle of the map.
Agreed.
Against the Celts. You can't let them get that stuff set up.
Yep.
So even if it delays you a little bit longer in Feudal Age, as long as you have army control, if you force the Siege Workshop back on MbL's side of the map, that's a huge win. Even if you have to stay in Feudal Age for 30 seconds, a minute longer.
Now, the transitions with food economy will be really important here because there's one farm built in this entire game. That's on MbL's side. And they both have 6 fishing ships. They're going to run out of the salmon and the Dorado in there pretty quickly. So a couple farms will be needed. But at the same time, you need that wood for other things. So if you can get by with delaying those farms, you might be faster to ballistics or town centers. MbL probably going to hold his pawns.
Nice fight. Yeah.
Nice fight. And he's just got his army in the middle right now. There was actually a window. There was a timing. He has fletching. Even has armor on the way. But I think Hera can micro his way out of this. With fletching coming in.
I think he kills that dock too before the fire comes out. 3 really weak fires there from MbL. Hera cancels, and now MbL is going to have that fishing eco.
Yep.
All alone on the right side. So really good job there. MbL pushes forward with the archers. And he's going to try and clear that up from Hera, but he does see the double range. So there's not really an area you can push. Credit to Hera for not having to invest into a tower. The archery ranges came up at the perfect timing. And he should be able to hold this.
Look at MbL, though. He's bringing Vils to the middle now. And this version of Kawasan has all the relics in the middle.
All the relics.
So that's huge. If you can grab those relics. And MbL having the Castle Age advantage also means that he's going to have the upgrade advantage. The Hera gets some nice hits before that. And maybe even feels like he has to get even more because he sees the upgrades. But nice patience from MbL. He goes TC and Siege Workshop. Could always be a monastery later on. The TC is also really nice because you could just non-stop spam Vils to the berries with very little investment into getting food.
It was classic Celts gameplay too. He got to Castle Age after making a ton of Navy from 2 docks and the archers, and he had 800 wood in the bank.
Yeah.
It's just like, it adds up over time, right? And you can see he's adding 2 extra town centers. He's got the Siege Workshop. He can afford a Mangonel. And Hera's going to have to defend with Mangonels of his own. He could go Redemption Monks, but right now, doesn't look like he's going to have the setup to do that. It's not a great thing if you're forced to defend against an MbL Mangonel push with Mangonels of your own.
Agreed.
Even if it's Hera, it's really, really uncomfortable situation.
Well, this would be a fun watch because Hera, I would say more often than not, takes the eco lead and then he's defending it. Now he has to fight his way up this hill. He has to fight his way against who I think everyone considers to be the best siege player in the game. And that gold's still looking pretty vulnerable for him. MbL's got 3 TCs set up. Like, this is a great position for MbL to snowball lead very quickly here. Hera, he always commands a lot of respect, but MbL says, nope, like, I'm running in. Like, I'm going to take my opportunities here, and maybe he'll regret that. But he kills a couple villagers.
Okay, a little bit of pressure, right? You also idle the gold a little bit, and Hera needs that gold. He's got 3 archer ranges trying to tech into skirmisher. Goes for the armor first, but affording elite skirm is going to be tough for him. And if he goes for elite skirm, he can't really afford siege either. And MbL is going to get all of these relics in. I would love to see MbL go. Oh, he's already on stone. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe thinking about a castle or a future tower. Hera didn't know until just now that MbL's in the middle. He saw the monastery. And Hera's going to need to really micro here. This is... I mean, the TC's in a position that's awkward for him. The siege, the crossbows, this is not going to be easy.
Yep.
MbL should always
MbL
get the repair villager here. There he is.
There we go.
And did get 1 relic. It's hard to move in and out of the berries in the middle. So it actually really hurts you in some ways. Very easy to path incorrectly.
It's also hard to push this, though, if you're in Hera's position.
Yep. It could kind of bite Hera as well in the same way. MbL needs to show some patience here. You just, like, you don't need to push down the hill. You just need to not allow him to advance up the hill. Hera's not going to do anything fighting next to that monastery, really.
4th TC for MbL already against 1.
Yeah. But
wow.
really hard to manage 4 TCs. 1 TC.
Yep.
You'd expect the idle TC time to be low. You'd expect the micro to be much higher. And Hera with some good micro there, but MbL still holding with the mangonels. Yeah, you can almost tell that this is 4 TCs versus 1 TC with how this is happening with the micro. And now Hera's counterattacking with the skirms. A mangonel follows. Quick walls have to happen for MbL. Meanwhile, in the middle, this is where he could struggle to defend, and Hera's pushing the monastery. So really tough for MbL. He's got a lot of idle time because of this counterattack. Love the counterattack from Hera.
I do like the addition of a stable, though. That knight is going to come out, and that makes it a little bit easier against the skirmishers, even with no upgrades there. But a good push uphill from Hera against that monastery. The monastery is built a little far forward for MbL, and that's the target. I'd love to see him start repairing that. He's going to go do that now. And it's still very difficult for Hera to push this area. MbL takes out another mangonel, almost gets another one, but Hera keeps producing. And it's a 1 TC push against 4 TCs from MbL. Long term, this is not good for Hera, but there's a window here where he can do some significant damage. Big shot for MbL.
MbL needs to constantly produce mangonels. He doesn't have a lot of wood right now. He's got a lot of everything else, but I also don't think he has a market. So he's got all that army at home he's got to send forward. He will lose out on some of the gold income from those relics. This is where I'm very surprised Hera's not on stone, and he's just going to do it now, actually. Go to stone, and then you got to place a castle right where that monastery was, if you can continue to win the fights.
Yep. Damn, what a push from Hera uphill.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
You said it, though. You can clearly tell who has all their attention on the military and who has half of their attention on the eco at the same time, right? Like, MbL's trying to keep these 4 TCs running. 61 villagers against 52, so the villager difference isn't even that big, and Hera's sniping a bunch from MbL now in the center. All those relics have been ejected. He still can't advance, though. He's still kind of stuck in this middle area as MbL now takes out another mangonel from Hera. I'd love to see MbL start to expand his food eco now. He's bottlenecked on wood. It seems like you always are with Celts. You know, you get to Castle Age with a ton of wood. Then you get over-ambitious.
Oh, my goodness. That was a horrible shot for MbL. He shot 2 skirms. Completely missed the mangonels. And now MbL again, not firing. And I don't know what's happening there.
Goodness.
He must be going back home. Hera getting some crazy engagements. He's got some weak mangonels, but this is do or die in time for MbL. He has to make something happen here, or he's going to lose this middle area.
Mangonel's about to pop. Mangonel's about to pop. Mangonel's about to pop. Mangonel's about to pop. It comes out on the other side of the siege workshop. He does manage to snipe one. Skirmishers don't get hit.
Dude, that's crazy. This is crazy micro, man. This is crazy micro. But there's still, the siege workshop still producing another mangonel. And this is a tight area to move around in right now. MbL tried to eject with villagers to repair that.
Big shot.
It was crossbows, but he lands the shot on the skirms. Now the mangonel hops out. He lands a shot on the crossbows, but now he loses that.
And he's got another siege workshop, so Hera's like, okay, it's over. And there's another one back here. Oh my goodness, dude. This is some balls from Hera to push up like this against Celts.
Where does Hera place the castle? The only spot he could place it is where his army is right now. Or there. That could get the job done as well.
Yeah. It's too risky to place it where your army is, and then you're like stuck up against the edge. That would be a doubt castle for sure. The crossbows just need to get out of here.
Yeah.
They're confusing MbL. He keeps thinking there's villagers in there. Another shot from MbL lands.
Well, Hera doesn't need to actually do too much now. Like, once that castle's up, MbL can never easily attack the mangonels, and you just gotta wonder, as MbL builds his own castle...
That's a risky one, dude. That castle is a risky one.
I mean, if it goes up, neither player can get the relics easily, and then this could be an imp race. And MbL has more eco, and Hera goes too far. Oh, dude, there's also a counterattack from MbL. MbL's mangonels are very close to each other, which is risky. But he could be into Hera's eco.
Counterattack. If he can pay attention to it.
Yeah.
That's the problem, right? If he can pay attention to that, it's insane. He does take out a mangonel from Hera. The castle looks like it's going to go up. More big shots. Hera's micro has been incredible this game. What a great opening game to this series.
Yeah, this is good.
So much fun.
I want a best of 7 on Kawasan, please, because this aggression here has been amazing. MbL can't bring that many more vills in here. So he really needs to protect those villagers. He's killing the army. He'll be into Hera's base.
Hera's human. He lost a lot of the skirms and the crossbows. He lost another mangonel. He's distracted by the force over here, and he's trying to defend this with skirms.
Yeah. Well, he got hit at home, and the second he got hit at home, and he actually had to react here, that's when he starts to make some mistakes in the middle. Great job from MbL to finally turn this into a multi-dimensional game for Hera, where Hera has to look back at his base. And I think MbL, if he can just use the market now and he's building it, he can get imp much faster than Hera. The eco for MbL is definitely paying off.
I am kind of nervous about the 71 villagers with 4 TCs versus 60 with 1, right? Like the idle TC time is huge, but Imperial Age now coming in, if he can add a bunch more vills on the way up, full cleared the army at home and still pushing at the front side, it's going to be very difficult for Hera. He's not anywhere close to going imp unless he sells all of his stone.
This is
goes for 4 castle.
This is super risky, but excellent game sense from Hera to know that MbL is probably on the way to imp and he needs something crazy. MbL doesn't have Town Watch, so he will actually not see this. Like, this castle should really never go up. But wait,
he goes for a TC
he's
out
gonna
there,
build a
though.
TC
He's going
there.
for a TC, dude. Oh my god, and the mangonels are right there. The knights are right there. MbL.
He won't notice
this
it.
is a risky play from Hera.
He won't notice
very
it.
risky play. He's also building another TC over on the right side. Let's see how quickly he sees this.
Yeah, I think
he's not going to see it.
He's going to be looking at this fight, which he's winning, by the way. I don't think he's going to see that at all. And so he could lose the vills, but man, great engagement from MbL in the front. And I just think, like, one trep and Hera's dead, right? Like, okay, the castle goes up. He can make a couple working guns. He'll kill some vills. But Hera will lose the castle in the middle. The middle is the most important area. We have another castle from Hera.
Yep.
Can you imagine if Hera knew and Hera went for petards for that imp TC? Like, that would be that would be Dave energy right there.
Yeah, it would be. Instantly calling out the exact TC that he's going up in.
And then MbL can just make trebuchets from both of these castles, and he can push Hera completely back. We'll see if Hera can get himself out of this one. He will try and click up to imp himself, but there will be a 3-minute difference in the time, which is not going to bode well for him.
Needs to notice these vills. There we go. He does. Hera retreating with his. And MbL going for another TC on the gold at the bottom. I cannot believe that Hera managed to get up to Imperial Age. That is very impressive from him. The eco hasn't been fantastic. But by the time he gets there, I don't know if these castles are still going to be alive. Dude.
Yeah. This and actually, like, now MbL can actually just look at his eco. Like, there's no way Hera's doing damage to him. He can add some farms, maybe check for Horse Scholar. And he should... The 2 trebs are going to work away. And Hera doesn't really have a way to harass this eco. So the TC count is going to matter a lot now.
Because he's got 1 TC. He can't make vills.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. He doesn't even have a second TC. I think it was 100% the correct play. Like, if Hera loses this game, people are going to say, you didn't add TCs. Well, he needed max army to push it back.
Yep.
I also think the castles were, even though they looked risky, it also was good game sense there. But in the end, MbL's early town centers and just getting to the middle in early castle age was such a big deal here. And this is what you said. Like, MbL maybe can make it chaotic. Maybe he gets past the mental struggle when he plays up against Hera and starts to believe in himself after this one.
It kind of felt like Hera was the one who was making it chaotic this game, though, with the 1 TC play.
Yeah.
Like, Hera was trying to disrupt MbL, right? MbL he did so well early, keeping the fish alive on the other pond. And with Celts, he was able to add 3 TCs instantly. And then Hera's forced into a position where it's just like, okay, I can't keep up with this eco. I need to try and push the middle. And now Woads are coming out, and Woads are a problem.
Yeah, Woads are a big problem.
They're so good, dude. They're so good now. The non-elite version has just been constantly buffed.
They
produce fast, and they're just great unit.
They're especially good if the Portuguese player has lost 3 castles and can't make gunpowder. Right? Yes. Like, you don't even have to worry about Hera dropping castles now because he's just lost 3 of them. So he'll try Arbalest, which is probably the best call. Maybe he'll mix in hand cannons afterwards. But this should be MbL's game from here. This should be.
Should be. I mean, one thing that I noticed consistently with MbL, he used to be such a great late game player, and he still can be. But one thing I noticed from his gameplay, when he loses games where he should win, it's because he doesn't add farming eco
Yeah.
in time.
Yeah.
So many other players at this stage of the game are going up to 50, 55 farms, right? They're just constantly adding it in. MbL usually distracted with things. He's trying to pressure. He has found the villagers in the north, which is a great clear up. No more forward pressure from Hera. But I'd love to see him go up to like 45, 50 farms here. Get heavy plow, get hand cart, just expand your eco, and he's adding more. Good.
Yeah, I would say also right now Hera's going ARB. That's a very slow unit. Just spread out. Like if Hera can't have defensive castles, you can actually do what the unit's named after and raid with the Woad Raider. So that could be a good play. He still only has the first infantry armor. He's still kind of cooking with that eco. He's trying to get the relics. He will have one more big fight from Hera to defend from here. That's going to be the Arbalest and the Bombard Cannons, I assume, through the middle. But still, Hera's
Relics
eco
are all
is
in
just so
now.
weak, dude. It's so weak compared to MbL's.
And like you can defend against these Arbalists while counter raiding at the same time if you're MbL. And that's probably what you should do, right? If you go around to the north, I don't know what he can see, but going around to the north forces the Arbalist back there. And that's like entire army from Hera being
Where
back
where
there.
can Hera even pressure? Like, he can't pressure MbL's farming eco because of that castle.
I don't know. He's gonna try in the north. He's gonna hope that MbL runs out of like stone and gold, but MbL went for the TC in the south, so he's even on the neutral gold down there.
Now, Elite Woad still isn't in, and to produce the Woads, it's food and gold. So to get to Elite, to get all the armor, it does take some time. But you do have 11 base attack and 70 HP without Elite. I think MbL's in this position should just wait for Elite always. He should not take any fights until that upgrade's in. But if Hera forces him to take an engagement, that could obviously change things. And that's a lot of Arbalest here.
60 on food now for MbL. Very encouraging. He goes for a tower now to defend the wood line. On that side, he's got a lot of woads there with the final armor upgrade. Forging on the way. I don't know, man. I don't know if Hera can beat this army if MbL finds a good engagement.
I mean,
Started off with some really good micro, though.
yeah, I mean, the Knights and the Woads will get in close. The Treb's also going to be utilized. I think this is good value fight for Hera, considering, but he can't outproduce, and MbL's going to get the first game here, and I just love the pick of Celts overall, too. It fits the map for what he wanted to do, and it's...
Yep.
I'm going to double-check the draft. Knowing MbL, he probably picked it first or something, but usually...
No, it was like last, I think.
Usually, Celts should be a last pick, yeah, and Portuguese
It's
is
the last
super
pick
high
for
priority.
MbL.
Wow.
And it's a first pick for Hera.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a huge win. Huge win for MbL. Obviously, it's a best of 7. You got to get 4 of them. You'd expect Hera to turn it around. But if you want a series, guys, looks like you showed up for one. More wood, more food, more gold. And, Dave, I paid attention in Feudal to the resources collected. There was never a point where Hera was ahead. Never.
Yep.
And so
Celts, man.
I think that, yeah, it's Celts. Exactly. Celts paying off, and the position there too. This generation is definitely more snowbally than some other versions because the relics are there, which maybe made the decision easy for him to prioritize that in early castle.
That was just a really fun push. Credit to both of them. MbL stayed in Feudal Age a little longer. He secured at least one pawn, which was critical.
Yeah.
And then he went for the archer production, and Hera did not give up map control easily. MbL had to win it. And then Hera just had the ballsiest micro underneath those berries against MbL Celt Mangonels. That is insane that he was pushing there for so long.
It was crazy
the way
how
that
he
he
even
did.
had a chance there. Like no one else is going to have even remotely close to a chance there. I will say this, Hera fighting primarily on water that entire time probably felt good on paper, but MbL got a lot more value from fishing than Hera was ever expecting him to have. That second dock that MbL added and the 4 fishing ships that's not common. Typically that dock comes way later, and it's just to make fire galleys. So I also love the MbL fish traps because who's got time to stack them perfectly?
Yep.
That's still fine. So
Chris traps, I call them.
Nothing is
I love how you always just relate to bad fish traps on a personal level, dude.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
Love it.
And you better believe I'm showing it when the player wins. I'm like, see, guys, like
But
don't need.
it's so easy to put them correctly, even if you don't have time. You just shift click like 5 of them right next to the dock. It's
No, because you got other crap to focus on, bro.
It takes exactly the same amount of time to put bad fish traps as it does good fish traps.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I can promise you it doesn't. In my experience. Maybe you've got more APM than me. Have we compared that before?
I do. I think I do, actually.
Then
I think I'm ahead of you by like 1, maybe.
Okay. I was about to say, where are things going wrong for you then, bro? That shouldn't be something to brag about.
Yeah, I know.
Well, okay, so to the draft here. Wow, that was number 1. And Hera's got Socotra, Arabia, Land Madness to all the land maps. I think we didn't talk about the bans too much, but I think banning out Nomad against MbL is a really good call because it can be, you don't know what type of game you're going to get. TCs could be close. They could also be far away. And then also MbL is just like super chaotic and adaptive. We got Arena now, which is not necessarily the map that you would have expected Hera to try and get, the turnaround win on, because this is one of MbL's home maps. But I like it because you know what's better than tying it up on one of your maps? Tying it up on one of your opponent's maps. And Hera goes for Bengalis. We got MbL as Bohemians. Both these civs are top tier. But the last couple times I've seen Hera play Arena in tournaments, he has gone for lots of monks. So I wonder if MbL's watched that, because Hera did it with Burmese a couple times. This deer is stuck on the edge of the map, and I think he's going to shoot it to make it move. There we go. But yeah, I wonder if MbL knows that, because I remember like 2 or 3 instances where Hera goes double monastery, siege push, fast imp. He goes full clown here, dude.
Yep. He's gotten really good with monks, dude. He's gotten really, really good with monks. It would not surprise me if he has created a couple like custom scenario maps just to practice his monk micro. I could see that being something he's done.
Well, there was this trend, this is a couple years ago, where certain players just got freaking annoyed with dying to monks. And so certain ones, I mean, let's face it, they all complained massively. But certain ones then adapted their own play to it, and it was like, okay, if I'm losing to it, I need to add that to my game. Hera's one of them. Now, MbL's always been a weird one. There's that famous clip of him complaining about and hating Arena. But he's actually always been insane with monk control himself.
He's been really good. Yeah.
And so, again, he's not a player you'd expect to necessarily go for the all-in monks, but he can do it. So, MbL says, I host next lobby.
He hosts next lobby. What server are they on? Let me check.
No. Hera says no. Yeah, what?
They're on, I can't see what server they're on.
MbL says, we alternate, yes. I want mental advantage, too. So, I mean, there's not too many server options.
Honestly, Tristan, I don't think MbL's ever had a mental advantage in any of his sets he's played.
MbL's only had a mental advantage if he's like 200 elo higher. And even then, MbL, he still doubts himself, and then there's more pressure because he thinks he should win. Yeah, this is super FC monks here from Hera, like really fast. And I'm wondering if MbL will recognize this trend. And what a lot of Arena players will do is they're talking about the rules. And I'm sure MbL didn't read the handbook. I'm sure MbL didn't read a handbook
in his life, bro. Oh man.
Also, let's back up again. I'm trying to be serious, but we've got this chatter here. Apparently, MbL was taking a nap when he was playing against Barles. And Nikov had to call him to wake him up because MbL was late. Otherwise, MbL would have gotten admin loss. And then he showed up and he destroyed Barles 3-0, which probably didn't make Barles feel too good because he was on time.
Yeah.
But really, I don't know what the rules are, but if there is, there shouldn't be a lot of ping between these two, but alternating is somewhat
I mean,
standard.
Hera's in Argentina and
MbL's
true.
I'm stupid. I was thinking
Norway. So
bro, I was thinking Canada
be a lot
still.
Of ping, dude.
Yeah. Sorry, for whatever reason, even though he's lived there for a while now, I was just still thinking Canada.
Shouldn't be a lot of ping, guys. GeoGuessr Pro T90 official.
Well, don't even get me started. I am curious what East US would be as medium there, but
yeah, that'd probably be good for MbL. I think it would be worse for Hera.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyways, Hera gets the 2 extra vills when he makes it to Feudal Age. MbL should know, if he's experienced, if he's watched the games, if he even thinks about that feudal time, that this is all in monks from Hera. There's nothing else this is on this uptime, really.
I mean, the good thing for MbL is he's got the back gold, right?
Yeah.
And I think the counter to this is maybe monks of your own with Fervor, with Bohemians.
I think that's the only play. Like,
yeah,
if this isn't the world's very best, then I say, okay, open light cav, mix in a couple of your own monks. Bengali monks are absolutely insane. They will tank light cav shots, and then they'll convert your units and use them back against you. So yeah, I think
you can't go like skirms or anything because they tank that too.
Yes,
it's just like you can't go archers. They tank that. It's just the Pierce is insane. I think the key here is gonna be getting monks of your own, and then fervor timing before Hera has it, before he can read your play, or not fervor, atonement timing.
But fervor doesn't hurt because at least your villagers are faster than 2. Yeah, dude, and devotion, and then it actually goes. We go deep on monk text. Then it gets to who has heresy, and Bengalis critically do not. So I think Hera at that point will be thinking forward castle and Imperial Age.
Oh, he just misses the vills, bro. He missed it by half a tile.
Yeah, this is the same exact build that Hera did with Burmese and Bengalis before. He'll add some spears just in case there's scouts. And here he comes to the middle. Gotta love how there's wolves on Arena.
Yep. Well, if there's chickens.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. But the wolves only have a taste for human flesh, not chicken. Also, apologies if you can hear my my cat at all. That's pretty much what he sounds like. I had shrimp before. I had like some shrimp and rice, and he's losing his mind because there must be shrimp smell.
I can hear him, dude. That's insane.
Yeah, dude. He's like 8 feet away, and he will not stop yelling right now. Did MbL see the monasteries there? He did.
He saw them. Yeah.
All right. So you know how you beat double monastery, guys?
Triple monastery.
Yep. And you know how you beat triple monastery?
Quadruple
monastery. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. This is gonna be insane. This should be, I think. I think MbL needs to resist the urge to drop the TCs too, honestly.
Yeah. He might drop one. He might try and go a little greedy here. I mean, the good thing for him is that he's going to have the second gold upgrade for free, right? He's going to get both of them for free with Bohemians. So that gold is going to fly in. It's double monastery for him. There's the siege workshop for Hera. Hera's going to grab those relics. So that'll balance out the extra gold income there from MbL. And Hera still has the villager lead because of the extra 4 vills he got from Bengalis. Yeah,
and you're under some pressure to drop that second TC because of the Bengali bonus getting more vills. So for that reason, I don't mind it. I also like the positioning of it because it protects the stone. You could have placed a more defensive one, but protecting the stone is pretty critical. Goes for fervor right away. That applies to the monks and the vills for some speed, and obviously knows that will be a monk war. We're about to see, I assume, an elephant from Hera to rush this down, which is actually harder to make in these instances because he doesn't have a lot of food eco.
Well, I mean, the elephants kill the walls very, very quickly. So that should be in. And you can also critically heal those with your monks behind. So it's actually, in a lot of ways, it's better than the ram for a push like this. But like you said, it's difficult to keep those coming out when you don't have the food eco. This is a very impressive eco for Hera, all things considered.
Yeah.
He's going to have way more farms than your standard arena player would at this time. He's got 7 of them. It should be able to keep the TC running. And here we go. He's even taking the chickens in the middle. Okay.
So I think a sign of a good friendship is when a friend can tell you how it is, right? And not sugarcoat things. I need you to tell me, am I wrong to be annoyed by the chickens?
Okay.
Screw you. Am I, how dare you? Am I wrong to be annoyed by the chickens? Or is that annoy you as well? They will not shut up.
Mod. I know. I want a mod that shuts them up.
They do. There is one.
I want a duct tape mod.
I'll send it to you.
Is there?
There is one, yeah. But it doesn't work for casting. And so, like, if there's chickens on the map while casting, even if there's 2, I just keep hearing them. It sucks.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Okay. All right. Good to know we're on the same page on that, at least.
Oh, yeah. 100%. So Atonement's in for MbL. Redemption's coming in for Hera.
Did Hera
And is
not get Atonement yet?
in? He didn't. He doesn't know the plan from MbL yet. He had MbL built those buildings so far away, and now MbL is gonna come forward. Hera sees the monks. He's like, nope.
Yeah,
I'm gone, dude. I'm gone.
Yeah, Hera needs to atone and back away, and there he goes. Now, the very next thing is it's got to be devotion. You can't go into a monk war without devotion now, and it's just so funny because people would complain about monk wars. They're like, it's just get the same text as the opponent. There's got to be something to add resistance. Well, okay, congratulations. Now there's just an additional layer of text you need.
I've noticed recently though. I've been casting games recently, and I noticed people just aren't going for devotion.
It's because the food cost. You gotta yeet vills on to go to
even when they have the food, it's not even arena. It's not even just arena. It's like other games as well. MbL now coming over with the mangonels. He's targeting 3 monks here. He gets the scout. That's amazing. And let's see who gets the conversions. MbL gets 2. Hera gets 2.
And
MbL gets 3.
That's huge. Yeah, that's a massive swing in the monk war. He's now got 4. Hera's got to fall back. Hera has also not been adding eco like MbL, but that is with some type of purpose here. The plan really for him is to eventually go to stone and go for a forward castle.
He's gonna go for a castle on the monasteries.
Bro.
That's insane. There's a mangonel coming out from Hera though, and MbL does not have redemption.
No one does this, by the way. No one does that. Oh god, you're right. The mangonel is gonna pop.
He doesn't have redemption, dude. He's got 2 mangonels of his own though.
Do those builds have loom
either?
No loom. Bro, MbL. No loom.
It's fine. It's perfectly
No, it's
fine,
not.
I guess.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Those are Bengali monks. This is horrible. This is horrible for MbL. Absolutely horrible. What was going on? The monks are switching sides. The MbL kills his own villagers. He kills his own villagers with this loomless castle drop attempt.
No, dude, this is a disaster in every possible way. Oh my god.
I mean, I did kind of get it. I did kind of like the idea for a second, but then the whole no loom, no redemption, no sanctity, no...
The idea was great.
Yeah.
He just didn't build up for it. He didn't build up for it.
And
This
then
is like music to my ears, though, because I failed a castle the other day playing with him, and he would not let it go, dude. He wouldn't stop roasting me about it. This is even worse than mine. This is so bad.
Yeah, it looks like your bad habits have rubbed off on him in tournaments. The funny thing is, he's still even with Vils. But he's not he's not ahead on monks anymore. And it's kind of confusing because Capture Age will show the different types of monks now. So I have to do some math, which isn't great for me. But Devotion's in for Hera, and Hera's got 5 relics. And MbL's he's gonna try, dude. He's gotta try. He's behind. Here he goes.
Yeah, he's getting loom. He's getting loom. He's gonna maybe convert those 2 mangonels. He's trying to come in from the top side with the villagers, but Hera's just sitting there with the monks. Hera's gonna go up to Imp here.
Yeah. And MbL knows this castle has to happen. So here he goes.
Not enough monks for MbL. Just not enough monks. And there goes the elephant, too. So that castle is going to be taken out if he doesn't delete this. He might lose the foundation. He deletes it. He's trying to buy, and now he has 656 stone. He's just sending the vills, regardless of what happens. Hera converts the mangonels, and now, well,
Hera doesn't need a second town center because you can just convert MbL's villagers. GG.
it was such a good idea. He just didn't do any of the prep work for it.
Yeah,
he didn't get loom. He didn't get sanctity. He didn't get redemption. Like, he had the setup. He needed a few more attacks.
In some ways, though, it was also a bit fortunate. Now, maybe fortune's the wrong word, but it was smart from Hera to add the mangonel. It's weird. No one, when there's that many monks, will add a mangonel usually because you assume they're going to have redemption. If Hera didn't have redemption, that castle goes up. It doesn't matter if loom is in or not. So MbL just did not expect the opponent to ever add a mangonel because of the threat of monks. If that castle goes up, all the relics become MbL's. Hera didn't have enough monks then. He would have lost his monasteries. It probably ends the game. So,
you actually,
crazy.
you might be confused here looking at the Eco KD, thinking that it's relatively even. But MbL, actually, those 5 villagers are his own. So Hera didn't actually lose a villager that game.
Wait, so you can kill your own vills and it counts in the Eco KD?
Yeah, that's why it's so unbalanced there.
Oh, yeah. I actually didn't really know that until now. That's good to know. Well, great response there from Hera. That's what you want. And like we said, he responded on his opponent's home map as well. And that was also one of MbL's top saves. So it was exciting for MbL to get the first win. But now it's 1-1. And MbL's still got a lot of work to do. My cat's still freaking screaming for shrimp. And scores 1-1. Here we are. And I just said I really like the idea on this version of Four Lakes, the base game version, to just stay on one pond because there's so much fish. And Hera's got the perfect setup if he wants to do that.
I mean, and dude, look at the woodline options for Hera.
And then look at the woodline options for MbL.
I mean, this is the only Four Lakes generation where I routinely see the woodlines being set up right next to the pond.
Yeah.
Like that, right?
Yeah,
and I will say, in general, this map script, it kind of makes it interesting for Four Lakes because you generally only have one big woodline.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of see that with MbL and Hera to some extent on this side. But Hera's definitely got a more walling potential for sure.
Yep.
And he's got both golds in the back, and MbL's golds are right at the front.
There's definitely a better map here for Hera, no question. Now, how you use the map is obviously the next thing, but kind of an expectation here. Hera is going to use it. Now, he doesn't have to do what I said. Like, you could still dock, try and take the other sides. That is the natural way to play this map. But I think docking the other pawns is primarily to prevent the opponent from doing so if you can have this type of position, because not hard to envision some full walls here from Hera. We know the Huns are going to be aggressive, and so Hera should be walling because of that. That's at least my expectation. Maybe he won't drop a single wall.
There's 4,000 fish in each pond, I think, right?
Yeah, so, like, for viewers...
Your cat would go crazy for that.
Yeah, he would, dude. For viewers, like, this is the version that will be in ranked and in the game. So definitely apply that advice that if you can lock down one pond, you should be pretty good for a long time here, especially with the fish trap meta. I don't think you need to move out like you would on Cross. But I've also said this every single cast in this tournament, and then everyone's still docking the other ponds. So I've yet to see someone go 3 docks on one pond. But do you remember the Copenhagen game at Noble Apartment Cup from Hera?
Yes. Yep.
I think that approach, just safely fish boom in one pond, and then cheap Castle Age, cheap Imperial Age, great archers with the Italians, could be really good. So,
all right, so MbL gonna dock there, no surprise. Hera docking at the bottom, and the question just remains, like, what's the opening for MbL, and whether Hera's gonna play safe, right? Do you go? I don't think you go scouts here. I think you have to, if you're gonna open with a land unit, it's got to be archers, right?
Yeah, scouts could be okay, but I feel like every time I see scouts, it doesn't actually kill vills. All it does is it provides some protection,
map control
for to the sides. Yeah. But MbL won't be able to make many informed decisions right now because they both have been pushing in their zebras. So he doesn't know that Hera does have the defensive map.
I mean, this map is definitely going to force MbL aggressive. 2 golds on the front side, stone on the front side. The berries are there as well. The berries aren't as important because you have the fish.
Yeah.
But, like, you definitely need to go for some sort of feudal pressure. Or maybe he tries to read, you know, a defensive play from Hera and goes fast castle himself. I think that's incredibly risky with the way this map is laid out.
Yeah, I agree. But if you have MbL also has his pond in the corner, so this is definitely a map gen where greed should be a good way of playing it, because it's way less likely that they're going to be able to freely sneak to your pond. But I just think they're both too adaptable based on feudal age builds to consider that here. Hera will drop the wall on the right side. He'll work up to 3, probably 4 fishing ships before stopping. And then we might see 5 and 6 come out when they're on the way to feudal age. MbL clicks up as I say that. And Hera still hasn't clicked
going
up.
fast castle. Yeah, he's got He's got the rhino, the elephant, the zebra under the TC, still goats remaining, and still another fishing ship coming out. But he hasn't clicked up yet. He's still going for more vills. I think this is a fast castle play from him.
I mean, imagine small walls to the golds in a little circle like MbL likes to do.
Okay. Cancel the vills, clicks up.
I still think you can FC on this. You can get up to 7 fishing ships on the way to feudal.
Into what, though?
Yeah, good question. It could also just be a passive opening, but it's a little surprising. It's so cheap for the Italians that this does make me think that he'll consider it.
Notice he still hasn't gotten loom either. It's after the feudal age click. So if MbL had gone for some really aggressive like infantry play, he could punish that. But it's not going to be that. He's going to go for the stable. So it'll be scouts, control, and then maybe some villagers sneaking out to those extra pawns.
I love how much you can convince yourself that crazy stuff's going to happen when it's not even close. MbL's brought his scout home thinking Hera might sneak a vill to his pond. He's looking on both sides with the fishing ships. Hera doesn't even found him yet. And then Hera also just playing safe, checked his shorelines with his fishing ships as well, but nothing there from MbL. And MbL's going to go stable. And Hera's resources are insane.
How consistently Hera always shows up with his scout right as his opponent's building the production building.
Yeah, I agree. Agree.
It's just the timings are always so good. It's probably over 50% of games.
No loom.
He shows up there.
No loom.
And no loom. MbL?
That villager's dead.
Dead.
I don't
understand. Loses, 9 HP from that.
Yeah, I really don't like that trend. I saw it yesterday as well from like Nikov or Sato, I forget who. Like, why are we doing that? I guess because you get away with it a certain percentage of the time, so it's worth the risk. But
I mean, MbL went no loom because he's against Italians, I think.
Maybe.
Right. So he went no loom. He got it instantly in feudal age. Hera had it queued in feudal age, and Hera's on the way to castle age. And now the question is kind of like, what are we doing? Are you going cav archers? Like, what's the play here for Hera? He's still stuck in the corner.
Yeah. I think if Hera didn't have this map, he never plays this way. So if we call into question the strategy, a lot of it just comes down to he feels like this is the type of map to try something crazy. He does not get the perfect quick wall. That actually still could have been a dead vill. There's only 2 villagers to garrison inside that TC. So the TC should not actually be terrifying for MbL. He should be diving. But he doesn't know that Hera's up yet.
Pull his Sato from yesterday and dive under literally everything.
Yeah.
That's insane, bro. Sato didn't care.
At
all.
There was like 15 vills underneath the TC. Here there's only 3, so... Yeah, MbL could be through. It's crazy to me that Hera hasn't even produced a spearman. He thinks that MbL will never do so. MbL bringing a villager, by the way, will probably take some time to get there. He's also bringing more vills. He knows Hera must be up, but I almost would have preferred knights for Hera instead of a couple archers. Because you've got the food.
This is the point where if you're MbL, you take like 3 vills and you start to wall. Right now against the cav archers. Make them work to get into your base.
It's so tough to justify it, though, because you have to also attack and add fish.
You got the wood right now. You've got the wood. Drag a few walls. That's it.
Dude, there's so many walls. Then it's palisade wall. I don't know. I see what you're saying, though. It's just Huns be Huns here. They're not going to change their thinking. A crossbowman on the way for Hera and Bodkin. So he'll have 4 crossbowmen. But he still has that fishing eco. The fishing eco is key, and he's going to keep it. Because MbL's Vil, not so sneaky on the left, will get sniped.
Yeah, finding that villager is great job there from Hera. And the tower is up, though. So Hera doesn't even have a mill, dude. He can't even go for a market because he doesn't have a mill.
Yep, true. And he will have the fish, so he won't need the farms. MbL will know. I mean, MbL's nowhere close to clicking up himself, so he needs to stay in feudal. This might be the rare full feudal play, which we used to see a lot more back in the day. Just go full scouts with bloodlines and armor. Drop a couple towers as well. But
I mean, if he gets a tower on the backside of that wood line, could be super nice. That's
Yeah.
like the only wood that Hera can take. Hera did sneak out to the left side with a dock. MbL sneaks out to the right side
Okay.
with a dock, and MbL is able to keep up fishing ship production. Apparently so is Hera. And now Hera goes for a siege workshop, and I think that's a sign for MbL that full feudal is not really an option anymore once the siege workshop is up.
MbL's micro has been really good here, and he notices that Hera's leaving to his base, so he might need defensive towers, but he's attempting to dive. Again, there's not a lot of vills around that TC, so it might not be as dangerous as usual, but it is enough. It is doing some damage, and maybe now Hera can move out with those crossbows. And how are you supposed to stop even just 7 crossbows?
Double tower.
Double
That's why
tower.
MbL's on stone.
Yep.
Classic MbL response, right? He goes for skirmishers and feudal age to push away the small number of crossbows. Hera can easily micro that down, but MbL's going to have triple tower. He's going to have 1 on the wood line, 1 on the gold, 1 on the stone. And he almost has enough for another tower, which he'll probably put on his other wood line.
And Hera's going to end up going to the
Hera's
area that there's no tower. Luckily enough for him, that the berry villagers are still there. Meanwhile, on the back of Hera's woodline, he's defending from this. The market's not going to go up, and Hera forcing so many reactions for MbL, and still say fish boom. Like this FC was absolutely the right play. Nice garrison from MbL. Ooh, a nice re-garrison there as well, actually, to save the other vill.
Skirms there too. If he can wall these crossbows in with something, he's trying to go for a market, a palisade wall. He does lose villagers, but Hera loses the crossbows, and he's not going to lose that guy. So it's like 2 villagers down from MbL. I think that's worth it to clear everything there. However, losing more villagers on the front side. So Hera with a lot of eco kills here.
Just Hera looked at this map and said, I cannot be stopped if I FC. He can't hit my fish. He can't hit my gold. He can't hit my wood. It's all I need. And he's run with it here. And from here, I think you could expand into TCs. 2 minutes still for MbL until he's in Castle Age. It's going to be tricky to defend, but at least he does have the towers. They are there.
Should go Tarkans.
Every time I encounter a situation where I feel like I should go Tarkans, it never works.
Yeah, well.
Which makes me sad.
Yep. They're such a cool unit.
Yeah. Just needing the
The
castle.
elite version is
tough.
badass, but the non-elite version is a little underwhelming, right? Why not just make knights at that point?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, very specific instances, though, in some certain Civ matchups where you might want to try and do it. MbL has collected more res this game. He's lost a lot of units, but he's still collected
some good
more
trades
res.
on the front, though.
Yep.
With feudal age skirmishers. Really, really nice. He's going to take out another crossbow, maybe? Nice micro there from Hera.
This is where you can tell that the Huns are insanely strong with their production, though. MbL's freely producing all the time. It looks especially strong when you watch him play because he's always known for getting some houses. So it's like a double bonus. But he'll be up. And Hera now expanding TC number 2. TC number 3 could have been a little bit faster with that. He's got 600 food. Yep. But he will invest that food into villagers pretty quickly here. And long term, I think if Italians can get to Genoese crossbowmen, becomes a very, very difficult matchup for the Huns.
Very difficult, yeah.
But that's tough to get to. Hera's stones are still very far forward. So I don't think we're going to see Genoese crossbowmen for a while.
Yeah, the Mangonel is coming forward. No knights in production just yet. MbL still getting bloodlines. Sells a little bit of stone so he can afford elite skirm and the second armor upgrade. He's almost got enough stone for a castle, though. And the castle could protect his base. And maybe provide Tarkin production.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe's the right word. If he were to get a big fight, it's smart from Hera to add the Mangonel, because if MbL cleared these crossbows, that castle might come up on Hera's face immediately after. So Hera definitely needed the siege to be there. He seems to sense the skirms are coming to his base, but he's got a really good base setup with the TC position. So there shouldn't really be an area that MbL can hit. And that's not easy to do, guys. To set up your base so you're fully defended.
If he clears the Mangonel and takes care of those crossbows or has vision on those crossbows, if he gets a castle up on the right side, that's an insane position, because that's where all their wood is from Hera.
It's kind of funny how Hera never scouted the pond on the right. MbL's been there, and then MbL has never scouted the pond on the left, and Hera's been there. They're both freely fishing in one pond. And still fishing ships being
he's
added
sending the
for
bills.
Hera.
He's sending the bills, Tristan.
No way, bro.
Yeah, he's gonna go because he sees the crossbows over to the right side.
True,
So he's gonna
true.
go for the castle on the stone.
Okay,
And he's got an army here. He's got the skirms. He's got the knights. He's got the cav archers. Hera is on the way to imp.
Dude, I don't care about the army text that MbL has. I just want to know, does he have loom this time? He does.
Yeah.
He is loom, but he's only sending 9 villagers. Okay. Yeah, this is great.
So, yeah, this is one of those times where if I'm building this castle and I see the Imperial Age come in 2 minutes,
you're going.
Hera, assuming this castle goes up.
You're going.
I'm hunting for a university.
Okay.
I'm hunting for a university.
Okay.
With my petards, or with my rams, or with my targets, or whatever.
What about hunting for the TCs though?
Well, dude, you've shut down the stone. You know there's no castle, right? If you see he's an imp, I think you have to target the university and prevent chemistry from coming in, because then he has no way to push you back.
If Hera loses his imp TC, which has no villagers underneath it, so it can be attacked.
No, he's not going to lose that. It's not enough time.
He would lose the game if he loses it, I think. Well, maybe not. But yeah, you're right. He's up so quickly here. MbL diving with the knights, hoping to kill the mangonel. The pathing was absolutely brutal.
That's disgusting. Nearly.
The skirmishers diving, skirmishers backing away. It's a lot of pressure from MbL. It's like Feudal Age versus Castle Age repeat now, except Castle Age versus Imp soon.
Here come the Tarkans.
And it's just the fishing
Where's
eco
the university
from Hera.
It's in the corner.
Yeah, and
he
has ballistics on the way. I just think Hera needs stone, right? Like, it's very awkward for Hera to move around right now because he doesn't have stone to get, like, trebs out. So he's going to save for bombard cannon and he'll get chemistry, but that takes a lot of time. Love the dock from Hera on the right, though.
Yep, that's good to contest there. He got the war galley attack. So he's going to see that. MbL's going to see the university over here, but not much he can do about it.
Yeah.
And he will lose his fish on the right side. MbL also just lack of eco upgrades at the moment. He's fully focusing on pushing the front side of Hera's base.
Unfortunately for MbL, skirms aren't going to matter anymore. Like, Imp Arbalest, even just crossbows with Bracer and Chemistry, they're going to win these engagements. And he's going to need more and more army. Skirm is the best option for him. But the numbers that Hera's been able to get up here and the eco behind it with the fish has just been insane.
Hera might lose a bunch more vills. The Knights and the Tarkans are coming in. That's a good fight there from MbL. That's a really good find there.
Yeah, and that's what you need. You need to try and bring Hera back home. Because otherwise, your whole eco is going to die as well. Hera does the right thing here. Hera's just going to go forward. I think a lot of people watching would panic and try and save your base, but no, you got to go kill now.
Well, I mean, what even is MbL's base? It's a ghost town, dude.
Yeah, it's an assortment of towers. And do Huns even get guard tower? I feel like they don't.
No, they don't. They
That's
get watchtower only.
Yeah, that's really bad. But he does have a lot of them, and it's enough to make Hera think twice. And he's going to continue to build the towers, and he's getting some kills on the front. He still has that castle. He's got some rams as well. This is really crazy stuff right now.
I mean, the towers do have bodkin arrow and ballistics.
Yeah.
Like, you have to respect them with only crossbows. MbL's coming in. He sees the bombard cannon. Hera's busy micring on the other side. The knight goes in for the bombard cannon. The ram can even go in for that. We got mangonels now dying to the knights, and it's not a lot of crossbows at home. As Hera is desperate to find damage here, but there's so many towers from MbL. He's playing tower defense. The bombard cannon goes down. MbL is making this crazy.
Yeah, he is. And he's like, okay, Hera, you want to go kill me? Go ahead. My people were prepared for this. We're the Huns. We're not used to being walled in the first place. Dave, Hera could also run out of gold, by the way. Like, that TC on the left going down is horrible. Yeah. And if he loses this bombard cannon as well, this could be very winnable for MbL. Hera needs to protect his bombard cannon.
And now Hera is up against 2 more towers on the other side, but MbL doesn't realize because the game is crazy. Still at 47 villagers. Hera retreating from those towers. And the bombard cannon will go down, and more villagers will die as well.
Yeah, I mean, Hera's going to have to pack it up and come back home right now. And he is really struggling right now. This is just this pure chaos. MbL still only has 9 on food. He is fish trapping a little bit, but he doesn't have any farms or anything. But he just keeps sending it. And I like the energy. I don't know if it's going to work because Hera's still an age ahead. And Hera still has more eco. But he's certainly giving it a good try here.
Yeah, the fishing eco is definitely saving Hera at the moment. 23 fish. MbL lost the fish on the right side. MbL did some great damage there, but still only 50 villagers.
Yeah. I think, if MbL would have been able to, during all of this, build 2 docks real quick on the left side, that could eliminate 10 fishing ships. And sure, Hera could have responded with a couple fires, but then Hera's already low on gold, so it's kind of tough for him to do that, and also everything else. But still, the question remains, he can defend with a couple towers against these Arbalests, but can he actually kill them? I just don't really feel like he can.
I don't think he can really do anything with this eco, right? Even if he goes for a forward castle here, I mean, Hera's going to have a bombard cannon now. And he's going to have Arbalists to stop that castle. So I don't really see a way forward for MbL. Hera will just keep building TCs on the edge of the map. He made it crazy, but there's no way to clear this up.
I'm laughing because MbL saw another bombard cannon and immediately had a couple Tarkans run in to try and push it back. There he goes. And now MbL's going to drop a tower. I think he was initially going to plan on building a tower there, but then maybe he canceled the idea.
More villagers dying, but Hera's producing them faster than MbL can kill.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And Hera also finds the gold in the north, and there's stone there. So that extra gold and stone really saves Hera for this problem he continues to have. MbL has been playing incredible to hang on here. I think Hera should really just not respect the towers at all. I'm pretty sure watchtowers die so fast to Arbalest. You'll lose a couple, but the towers will go down before you know it.
I mean, with Bracer and with Ballistics, I think you got to be careful still. Especially when you're up against 2 or 3. If you're up against a single tower, not really, but if you're up against 2 or 3...
Well, I think you could take the attack, though, on the tower when you're only in range of 1. The way they're positioned.
Yeah.
Like, if you come to the gold, you can just sit next to the range, and that tower's done. But Hera hasn't gone that way, actually. He hasn't gone that way pretty much the whole game. He's mainly gone through the middle or the right side. So we'll see. He's still advancing forward. MbL's still trying to pump out what he can. He builds a tower on the shoreline, which hurts the fish trap eco for Hera. But Hera's still got such a big eco around here. It's just, if Hera lost villagers this game, he's just been replacing them twice as fast. We might actually see the GG call here in a moment. I think if the Arbs come in and do what I'm saying, MbL will probably realize he really doesn't have a whole lot to stop this.
Yeah, I mean, all of his eco is exposed.
Yeah.
He has to build towers one step at a
Everywhere.
time, and he always has to have 2 towers next to each other.
Hera also getting full armor. He also now has the bombard cannons, and that castle that MbL has, the castle that gave him a chance, is likely to go down now because Hera has enough army there to protect it. Hera's not taking any risks with the army on the front, but why should he? When you've got this big of a lead, you don't want to even test on if you can deal with those towers. And here comes MbL, last stands maybe, trying to get the bombard cannons, but the bombard cannons will be protected by the Arbalest there. Imp upgrade's too strong. All the Tarkans go down. The Skirms will as well. And I would expect MbL to tap here.
Another crazy game.
Yep.
GG called from MbL. Well played. I mean, great job from Hera to get up to Imp when he did. And to just get the numbers of Crossbow and Arbalest out. MbL made it crazy. For sure. He made it kind of wild, but it just wasn't enough.
I think when you draft Huns, you never want these maps. Like, well, his MbL's map was super open. Hera played his map perfectly. He said, okay, if I've got a back wood line, double back gold, and a safe pond, I just go fast castle.
I mean, to be fair, MbL has to put something on the left pond, though. You can't let Hera get away with 10 fishing ships.
Agreed.
For free,
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. It's very tough to do so when you're up against Crossbow. But yeah, well fishboon from Hera. And I like, even though it took some time, I loved how, as he was fighting, he was just in case, adding those extra TCs and expanding. But I would be frustrated if I'm MbL just based on the unfortunate differences in the maps there. But that happens all the time, and you've got to adapt to those situations. And Hera, more wood, more food, more golds. And he wins. Dude, I'm going to step away. I'm going to give my cat a treat or something. I don't know if this is going to make this worse, but it has now been 2 hours.
It's been like an hour. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, he was doing it before we got on call, and he will not stop screaming. And I think you hear it more because Discord doesn't have as much of a filter or whatever. But he's just hungry or something. So I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Sound good?
Okay.
And we enter game number 4. Hera's won 2 straight. You just knew when MbL won the first game that Hera was going to find a response. But Turks for MbL. The Stone's very far forward. Again, he went fast castle against Barles. Now he was playing Jurchens. He went for the new Grenadier unit, which was a sick game. I just don't think fast castle is good here. With Turks, anyways.
I think you can play Scout War against Khmer. Honestly, it bothers me so much. It's been a pet peeve of mine for years that people play Scout War with Khmer and then never add the barracks. It's just wild. And like Nikov got punished for it yesterday. Big time.
Yeah, it's just
not having any spares at home.
It's kind of like Huns. It's like you can't house wall, but you can wall. But people never wall because they can't house wall. Right? And I guess here it's almost the same. It's like because you could skip the barracks, people never add the barracks, even though they could do that.
I mean, I could see Hera going like anticipating a fast castle from MbL and going even faster castle himself. That would be a total Hera play to do something like that with Khmer.
I'm looking at this right now. It's not the fact that MbL picked Turks, because I agree with you. I think the high pierce armor scouts can be nice. You tend to see a lot of scout spam and archers and camels and stuff. They can do all that. But it's the fact that MbL picked it second. So the fact he picks it second makes me think it's something beyond the meta.
Well, he also might have wanted to deny it from Arena, potentially.
I think that's really fair.
So that's a higher priority.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and he didn't expect that Hera would go Bengalis or something. So, or maybe he wanted Hera to go Bengalis and not Turks. So, there's only one boar on this map. There's a lot of I always say deer ibex, which I guess it's more goat than deer, but same difference, still 140 food. The wood's on the outside, and you cannot wall in the rock terrain, so you actually tend to see pretty aggressive games. You see more aggressive crater games than you do Land Madness games these days.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Land Madness is a kind of a boring map now, unless it goes late game.
Well,
like, late game Land Madness is super interesting. Early game is just blah.
I just don't get it. Like, people need to get on board and put the unwallable terrain on the outside. Like, you put the unwallable terrain on the outside, and then people can't full wall to the edge of the map. Because it's walling to the edge of the map that's really strong.
Boring. I don't mind when people full wall. Scout, archer, spearman stuff. Every game is blah. This map is interesting, at least. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I see. So it's more so.
I'm like one of the only people. I find feudal play very boring on average. Castle and imperial play is way more interesting to me.
Okay, well, hold on. I have a unrelated question.
Yeah.
What age do you struggle the most in when playing?
Feudal age.
Okay. Okay, I'm just listen.
Because all these meta guys are in here hoovering around my base, dude. Hoovering around. Give me some siege. Give me some monks. Give me some extra TCs, a few castles. All right.
Listen, I said it's unrelated. Unrelated. You're allowed to have your opinions, but I just I tend to feel as though that's how people who hate water maps is because they freaking suck on water maps, right? There's no one who's good
give me a water map any day, bro.
There's no one who's great on a map and is like, that map sucks.
Give me a water map or a boomy imp map or like a Castle Age monk siege map or something like that. Feudal Age, not so much. Dude.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I get it. I also think part of it when enjoying maps is how many times have you played /seen a map? So I think for us, we've seen so many Land Madness games. This is maybe the first time we've ever covered Crater together. So
Yeah, together probably. I mean, this map has been around for a while. Hera's going to get up to feudal age super quick, by the way.
Damn.
16 villagers,
Yeah.
no loom, and that's just instant stable should be. But yeah, it's always a full feudal battle here, except for the rare time that someone tries to go for a fast castle, and it is rare. But it is a very, very entertaining map, especially the game yesterday between Sato and Nikov was wild. Sato was hanging out underneath the TC fully garrison with scouts hovering around, and it worked. So there's definitely some potential for some all-out gameplay here.
MbL needs to save his scout here. He'll have to realize Hera's is there and just pull back right to the vills. Oh, he actually gets a nice hit.
Downhill hit.
And you just keep your scouts safe next to the villagers. Do not give Hera the little feudal age hit. Hera double checking to see if MbL got loom, and he did. And MbL building the barracks. This is not a substandard time from MbL. This 19 pop build is fairly normal. Maybe the barracks is a little bit late. But he needs to be walling in that wood line now. I think if Hera's been up this fast, you've got to know that your spear timing's not going to be right. And your villagers need to be protected, MbL. This is dangerous. There's a weak villain there. Hera dives underneath the TC, and Hera just beautiful snipe there. And that's double checking. You're always checking to check the HP.
Yeah, I think very few people, everyone's checking HPs on vills, but rarely are they checking HPs on vills underneath a town center like that one.
Yep.
Right? So that's Hera just doing that. And I don't think I'm not sure if Hera plays with the constant health bars. I think he plays with the hover health bars.
Constant health bars looks awful, but some people do.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a little shocked right now. Like, this is, you knew it was going to be scouts. You knew Hera's going to be coming to town. We don't have a single palisade wall for MbL. Many people are not going to fight off with villagers with success like MbL just did either. But now the wood line's exposed. He does have a spear on the way. So he'll try and fight this off and put the weak villager on the backside here. It's risky from MbL. He loses a second villager now. But he does
kill a scout.
Kill a scout at least.
And where is the spearman? The spearman is over there. MbL is usually just so good at fighting with villagers, but Hera is also great at sneaking the scouts in and getting that final hit on all the weak vills.
You could tell MbL's maybe a little rattled at the moment. His weakest point is always the beginning of each age, right? His timings to feudal age, his timings to early castle. That's where he struggles compared to most of his peers, but he does have scouts out.
I love Hera on these really tight, fast builds, right? 16 villagers up with Khmer, and he intentionally doesn't get Horse Collar. I think a lot of people would have gotten greedy there and tried to sneak in Horse Collar. Doesn't get it, and because of it, able to keep villagers coming out, able to keep scouts coming out.
Yep.
He doesn't really let it bother him that those eco upgrades aren't in. He's just focusing right now on military. Later on in the game is the point where he needs to worry about his eco upgrades and expanding his economy.
It's just all about timings and farm counts, right? How long that farm lasts doesn't matter if you already have the army lead long term, so or eco lead, which in this case he does. And also, it's kind of nice to force the Turk player into a lot of spearmen. I'm still not seeing why we ever pick Turks here. Still haven't seen a reason for it.
You don't need to force MbL into a lot of spearmen.
Well, that's the thing. I've seen so many times where MbL with Gurjaras or Turks, the two sims that don't get pikemen, he makes over 10 of them. I think the other one was like Gurjaras on Acropolis. He made like 16 spearmen.
Look at the farm eco for Hera. 15 farms up already.
Khmer are so good.
Flying in.
They're so good. It's Hera's second pick. He's playing like it is. And he actually didn't even build a mining camp. He just walked out. He doesn't even have loom, actually. So that's how he's getting bloodlines. He's just walking back and forth to get the gold to get loom, which is crazy greedy and confident, and he gets punished.
Yeah.
That's maybe a little too much.
That is like weirdly satisfying because the amount of times Hera doesn't get loom and then doesn't get punished is kind of infuriating.
Yeah.
To be honest, so that's nice to actually see him lose a villager because of it. Still has 3 vills in the queue. No loom, right? He just has it now. He has the gold available for it. MbL trying to get out of dodge with his scouts here.
And MbL needs to realize Bloodlines is in. So he will need more spears at home. Yep, he is housed, so he gets wheelbarrow. And he kills another villager because Hera doesn't have loom yet. And Hera can hide inside of houses, but they still need some time to get there. So 2-2 on the Eco KD. Like the job there from Hera to use the houses. Against most players, I would say, like, that's still good to force them to garrison. But I think Hera always seems to look
MbL.
a little bit too
MbL
comfortable.
Got wheelbarrow because he was housed, and then didn't make a house until just like right now.
But he had a really good moment there. He killed a Vil, so he's now killed more than Hera has.
Might kill another one here.
Yeah.
That villager needs to find her way to the house. She's not going to. Another villager down, so 4-2 Eco KD for MbL. And Hera was forced to kind of pay attention to that. His scouts are not going forward to MbL's base.
Yeah.
And MbL's going to have a walled off wood line. I think there might still be a one-tile gap. And he's going to go out to the gold as well. He also has wheelbarrow mixed in already.
It's kind of funny how this game is played out. It was all Hera, and he had all the timings, and then the greed gets punished, and now he doesn't have the timings anymore. He does have the stronger scouts, but
Double stable production.
MbL should sense now that this should be full scouts because you just saw the second stable. So that's just more license to add more spears. And my favorite thing about MbL and spears, he uses some to defend, and then he attacks with some, which a lot of other people aren't doing, at least at this stage. He knows Hera doesn't have his own defensive spears or archers. So, yeah, spears moving in. He does need to be careful. And forces Hera into a garrison there, which he'll like. 12 scouts, though, for Hera. It's getting to dangerous numbers.
That barracks has been working 50% of the time already in feudal age here. So MbL will just keep that
woodline
working.
walls?
The scouts can come into the woodline. That's what the hole I was talking about before.
Oh,
Hera
man.
doesn't have forging, doesn't have the armor. So let's see how quickly MbL can realize this. If he realized it right away, he probably could have killed a lot of those already.
I think
but
Hera's...
he doesn't know, dude. He doesn't know.
He's looking at the other fight, Dave. He's looking at the other fight. He simply has no clue. And Hera maybe even taking the other fight, thinking that even if the fight wasn't the best, he could get some kills here. Could have been worse for MbL, all things considered. But the woodline situation's not good. He's only got 7. Hera's got 9 on wood. You need a little bit more. I will jump in and just say this. This is actually where getting Horsecollar could become valuable for Hera, because his farms are going to go through a cycle of reseeding. So I think having Horsecollar for MbL is good. And now Hera's going to engage against the spears. There's a lot of spears around. And
pretty good fight, all things considered, for MbL. He drives that away, but I mean, it's still forging is on the way, and it's still going to be double stable production with 23 on food from Hera.
Yeah, and
MbL needs to wall that woodline off for sure.
Yeah, he does. MbL could get to Castle Age here, and if you get to Castle Age and get some knights of your own or camels out, it could be solid. And he uses the market. He's on his way. Hera's killed more villagers, yes, but Hera's still far away from Castle Age. Hera should sense, though. I mean, MbL's not producing scouts. He
far
should
away
sense.
until he unqueues and stops making the scouts, and then he's up instantly.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I'm looking at it right now. He's still queuing up more scouts. He still wants more villager damage. He'll find it. Kills the villager there. MbL still needing more spearmen, maybe. But woodline's walled off.
Ooh, tower forward from Hera. Scout
That's
tower
a
is
great call.
Incredibly powerful combo. That is an insane call from Hera.
Yeah.
Great vision there. I mean, MbL can't push these scouts back, and the scouts with forging are just diving on the spearmen from MbL. So suddenly he doesn't have any spearmen at all, and that tower is going to shut down the gold. So MbL can't even really escape with those villagers.
Yep, it's a great call. Because Hera, if you're not going to go archers, you need to have a tower here. And MbL also won't see the tower. That's actually such a good tower. Spears will be in, though. And depending on the timing, MbL might be able to retreat with the Vils. Hera will engage. He's sniping the spears. The spears have no upgrades. And yeah, fully upgraded scouts doing the job again. MbL brings another spear.
Or dead Vils, probably.
Yeah, do you die to the scouts or do you die to the tower? You probably try and get home with somebody. And choose to die to the scouts.
You might buy the spearman some good hits.
Yeah.
And you might get home with a couple Vils here, potentially. Yeah, he gets home with 2. That's not the worst thing in the world, but at the time, it's like 32 Vils against 43, and Hera's only a minute and a half away from Castle Age. So instant light cav upgrade comes in from MbL. He might be able to snipe a few villagers too.
They're right
and
there.
He might be able to find some good kills on the scouts.
Yeah.
Hera kills another spearman.
I don't like that Hera didn't wall in that tower. That could be an issue for later. And he didn't have a house around, so Hera's going to lose these villagers. His scouts are kind of weak. And MbL will be in Castle Age with Light Cav, which obviously Hera will do. But MbL shifted to the other golds. And that was a very nice engagement. Remember, no spearmen for Hera. So these farms get really dangerous to work on right now. And I like the idea from MbL to just immediately go to his base. Don't come back for the scouts. And see what he can do here. He's also mixing in camels, which again, with no spearmen for Hera, could actually be kind of awkward for him to deal with. It's been a great game, dude. This has been super fun to see.
I'm surprised MbL's still alive at this point, to be honest. Because, like, the production that Hera had early, and MbL was really struggling against that. It was a great counterattack. He punished the no loom, right? And then the double stable and the tower push felt like it could have maybe ended MbL, but now he's got the pressure forward, which is huge.
Story of our casting career, by the way. I can't believe MbL's still alive. Like, how many times have we thought that or said that? This is still not an easy situation for Hera to be in. Hopping in and out of these houses, loses another villager. Completes the Light Cav upgrade, but can he engage when there's camels
the monastery as well for MbL. If MbL can keep the pressure forward, maybe he can snag a few of these relics. There's 5 relics in the center.
This is so
big
funny.
Deal. There's another monastery from Hera.
This is so funny how MbL keeps lurking around this gold. He refuses to give Hera any time. Hey, he's tied up on Vills right now, man.
39, yeah, and he's got wheelbarrow as well. Obviously, Hera has the Khmer farms, and the res collected is a little bit ahead, but surprisingly, MbL is keeping pace.
So many people will look at Hera's army there, and the Vills fighting back, and they won't engage, and then Hera just gets away with so much. But MbL is just like, you know what? I'm going to take fights consistently next to your base and see how you can manage this. And he does take the engagement. I think the camels should be okay here, despite the fact that MbL doesn't have a lot of numbers. I think that's a fine fight. It looks, obviously, he lost a lot of units there, but...
I mean, it's a good fight because he was housed for about 2 minutes and he's no longer housed. So that's insane for MbL, actually.
We're back there again. Is it too stubborn for Hera not to add spears? Maybe it's too late now. But that could be an option.
Yeah, spears are... I think you have the monks now, right? I think he's going to rely on just the monks and the knights. MbL will go into full camel production, and then he'll have to shift back into Light Cav. He did manage to snag 1 relic, which is good for him.
Yep, and MbL will know now that Hera has the monk. And there are 5 relics in the middle, by the way, so very easy to snag those relics for both of them if they take control of the middle. So MbL is able to get away with 1. Hera will probably go for 1 now.
Where does the Khmer monk put the pot, is my question, when it carries the relic.
Where does he put the pot? Is he carrying a pot?
It's monk with pot. Yeah, is it monk with jar? Is it a jar? Is it a pot?
I will, if we find a moment, I'll inspect. Look. Where does the Turk monk put the prayer beads?
The rosary?
Well, I guess the rosary. I see
the
pot.
I see it. The pot?
Yeah,
yeah.
True.
See, he's just gonna. I guess the normal monk doesn't have his tome when he picks up the relic. See, the pot just goes away. We don't know where it went.
Is it the angle, or does he just not have it?
No, he just doesn't have it.
It's kind of sacrilegious. What if I would throw it in the middle of the relic? But that's probably not good. That's probably frowned upon. But I feel like that's practical. And 2 relics.
We're only talking about this because there's a momentary lull.
Yes, a very rare lull.
What has been all-out fights the entire time. Second town center mixed in there from MbL. He's trying to go forward with 3 monks here, and Hera still has the 7 Light Cav, but they're forward in MbL's base, so they can't really snipe those monks yet. MbL's Light Cav targeted for conversion. Let's see the conversions here at the middle.
This is so good for Hera, I think. That's so good for Hera. So his monks were actually kind of still locked on. Well, MbL gets some conversions as well.
3 knights converted. That's huge. That's a massive swing. And the Light Cav at the back from Hera get cleared up. And MbL's going to clear up the monks from Hera, too.
Yeah, it turned around pretty nicely. Man, what a game. I will just jump in here and just say, this has got to be MbL's victory, right? If he loses this one, he has to win 4 straight against Hera, which feels, or what, 3 straight against Hera, which feels so difficult.
Khmer barracks! There it is, baby!
There it is! There it is! Better late than never.
Let's go.
All right. They might actually split. This might be the first time I've seen the Relics split 3-2 on this map. Usually it's just game over
maybe.
because someone snowballed by now.
Snipe this.
Oh, goodbye to Hera's Knights, though. Goodbye to Hera's Knights. Horrible engagement. He's fortunate that he survives with what he has there and can heal them back up. But MbL with the villager lead. That second town center faster than Hera. Just like game number 1. Just really difficult for MbL to get through there.
So good.
Yeah.
This series has been really, really solid. I think a lot of people just assumed Hera would stomp, and he can still win 4-1, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
people who didn't watch the series would think, okay, complete stomp for Hera, but like the games have been really competitive, to be honest.
You know what MbL would usually do in this scenario? A bunch of vills on stone. And then a castle. There's so many forward stones and golds for both players. A castle near that starting TC for either would be crazy. He drops the 3rd TC now. And Hera...
Housed again.
Eric's on the left side. Yeah, MbL housed. It's okay. He'll get handcart or something.
Yep. Anything but Town Watch, right?
And anything but Town Watch. Exactly.
Anything but Town Watch.
Ooh, and MbL sees another barracks with the light cav, but that he might think is the first one. So he might not expect the pikeman timing. Nice raid there from MbL. He needs to take down this tower on the left as well.
As soon as he saw that barracks, he went into a siege workshop.
Good choice.
Scorpions could be great here if you mix them in behind the camels.
Yeah, Scorpions are a bit worse against Knights, though. Whereas if Hera were to go Scorpions mixed in against camels is very nice.
TC on the stone now for MbL. So that's TC number 4. So we once again have a situation similar to the Kawasan game where Hera's going to be playing 1 TC and MbL's going to be on 4.
At 4 is like, it's an MbL thing to do, but that's really high, dude. That's a big number. You don't have a lot of res left over to spend on army and upgrades.
I mean, the thing with MbL and his TCs, a lot of the time, he adds the TCs, but he doesn't constantly produce from them. They're more for protection.
That's
he
fair.
used to do that on Land Madness all the time in Empire Wars, right?
Yeah, and he certainly got the protection here, as you said. Also, the camel raid, that's annoying for Hera to deal with. MbL didn't want to get trapped in there, so he left. But still, that's an area Hera has to focus on. He doesn't really want to be. Surprised that MbL isn't using his camels to engage underneath this TC right now, because the pikemen can't come in underneath the TC. They'll die. But maybe he's just waiting.
He's waiting for the Mangonel to come out and the monk to come over.
Yeah, he's got time.
And Hera brings over the light cav, and Hera snipes that monk. That's great use of those light cav.
But there's a monk inside the TC now that can pop out and convert, and MbL will repair that TC. That's really crazy patience from MbL. Conversion comes in, TC's garrison. Now he's got to back away. Camels are stuck. Fletching would hit so hard here, man. You need to have fletching in these situations. It would be melting Hera's units so much faster.
I mean, he's going to have 2 Mangonels alone in that siege workshop over there.
Yeah, and all these vills.
Brutal, right?
All these vills. I love that the full army from Hera. This is 1 TC versus 4. You can spend so much on army when you play this way.
Bro, bring the camels back. I don't think he realizes they're still out there. Bring the camels back. You might be able to take this fight. Mangonels go down. Villagers still in the TC. MbL just desperately trying to repair that.
No, I can't. Those vills will die. Does MbL know, though, that he still has a nice villager lead? Like, is that something he's aware of in his mind? Let's hope he understands that. But it's not more res collected, right? Because Hera's eco is flying. It's working so efficiently as the Khmer. That was a crazy play from Hera.
Getting some counter rates. A couple villagers killed from Hera. Not super efficient at the moment. Only 12 on food as the villagers are garrisoned inside the TC, but they'll go back to work. Camel's going to look at the wood line once more, but Hera just pushes in towards another TC.
And another gold.
Pikeman was insane.
Yeah, MbL cannot take gold right now. The other gold is towered. And Hera will happily toss pikemen and knights in underneath this TC if that means MbL has no gold. Without the gold, there will be so many problems for MbL. The TC on the outside is an issue now. That's getting raided. And Hera still producing army behind this. Can MbL keep up with it all? This feels like he
Hera
can.
is kind of losing a lot of units under these TCs, right? And the camels are coming back to deal with the night raid on the wood line. 55 vills for Hera, 67 villagers for MbL. He sends the camels back from the front lines. I mean, Hera does have to be careful about yeeting all of his army into these TCs, because if you do that too often, suddenly you have no army at all.
Yeah.
And MbL has actually done quite a good job saving the camels. There's a lot of weak camels there if he can heal those up again.
It's just a shame he can't really sit back and heal right now. He kind of needs to get this map back because his golds and stones are there. I think he needs some time to get a castle. And then if he can get some gunpowder out, then pikemen maybe not as much of an issue anymore. But Hera put his foot on the gas here. Full on one town center, and he's actually collected more resources. So
No
it's just
surprise, right? The inefficiencies there for MbL. Brutal. Overall worker efficiency, 73% for Hera, 67 for MbL.
yeah.
So there's your difference.
Over
right
2
there.
hours of idle eco time for MbL. And here we go. He's going to build a castle behind his TC. There's rams here. Like you said, the camels are weak. So pikemen are going to be killing the camels very quickly here. And I don't think MbL has a chance now. The TC could go down. The castle might not even go up. And Hera just playing the Khmer as one should on a map like this. Full army. And maybe could have mixed in a Scorpion or two for any Khmer fans, but...
If you were to ask MbL if he still was tied in villagers right now, he'd probably tell you absolutely no way.
Yeah, no way,
but
right?
he is, man.
Yeah,
He
it's
is.
true. I mean, and this castle kind of it protects the TC. It protects his farms. He does have a gold nearby. So now if he can get Janissaries, it could be strong. I mean, look at that town center from MbL. TC next to the
My
TC.
God.
Anything to protect the gold.
And he can heal up the camels in the castle
Yeah.
finally. But there's a TC forward now from Hera, so he's finally going on his stone. He's thinking about how he can follow this up, and I think he could even consider Imperial Age once he gets the stone for a castle.
Just a really fun game to watch. A really fun game.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder if... It felt like the army count was even, and MbL had a 30 villager lead when he added the 4th TC. With a little bit more military, maybe. Or maybe a switch into crossbows. I don't know. Maybe that first TC would have stayed up, and maybe he could have maintained his lead. It was super close there. Now Hera
look at
actually
the
has
ways-
the villager lead.
Look at the ways you have to farm on this map. Look at the TC at the back from MbL. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're not Khmer, it doesn't feel very good, right?
No.
Hera bringing units to the left side, just sensing the camels were going to come in. He saw it from the tower, I believe, on the left side. So good awareness from him. Camel counterattack, not going to kill villagers very quickly. Hera
Camel
sees...
counterattack. Great band name.
It's a great band name, actually. There's some great Age of Empires terms for band names. I think Attack Ground is still my favorite one.
Ground is good. Attack Ground is a great horse name too for horse racing.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Are there good... Man, I gotta like reframe my thinking now around horse racing.
GG.
GG. Well, that's not a great horse name, but we'll roll with it. 3-1. Great game from Hera. That was sick. I love the thinking initially to play aggressive. Obviously, MbL held on, but the pike switch with Khmer, it doesn't happen enough, and it was the game changer.
Another really fun game, and another game where MbL was very competitive, and it's just Hera's got that killer instinct, right? He just switches into the pikes from 3 barracks, pushes everything back, and then he goes after the TC. Like, he's sitting under the TC with pikes and knights, and he realizes there's nothing MbL can do about this. I'm going to lose a lot of units, but he's going to be idled, he's going to panic, and he's going to have to fight with those camels, and the camels are going to die.
Yeah, MbL's got no chance from here. 4 army, 3 of that is weak and running away against 35 army. Hera would definitely have steamrolled him from here. Still, the positive signs for MbL. I mean, it's tough now to have to win 3 straight, but when he has lost, the games have been very close. MbL has a mule cart, and he's built a mill on the chickens.
Yeah, for the chickens. Yeah.
Why?
He's an idiot.
Why? You start with the mule cart, bro. MbL, take the chicken with the mule cart.
Dude. Maybe he doesn't know.
That's so weird, man. I would never do that. Like, you don't need to take wood at this time. Maybe he's going to go for a drush or something, but I've never seen anyone do that with the Georgians before. Okay.
Maybe he's gonna delay the mill on the berries for a long time. Maybe he wants to farm over there. Maybe he doesn't think that you can take chickens to the mule cart for whatever reason. But maybe it's just a brain fart. It's probably just a brain fart from MbL.
Yeah, it's a brain fart, all right. I mean, it's not the end of the world. You still get the free mule cart. You still have a nice save here, but
okay, this is Hera's going for the mill. This would be a perfect opportunity to do the walling chicken thing for Hera. That's a good setup.
The chicken funnel, yeah. So the thing about that though
is
Yo
do it the other day.
It's actually way better if you have diagonal gates involved though. So you would need to. So it looks like it's good because you think you can straight line it, but you want the diagonal gate through the middle of it, and then the rest of the wall straight.
I could zigzag that.
Yeah, zigzag it. Yep.
Yeah.
Zigzag it, and you'll be good. Here comes the scout for MbL, and he sees the TC. Hera didn't notice him or didn't want to garrison. But nice, really nice base for both, I'd say. I slightly prefer it to Hera's, but if he doesn't have map control, these golds along the front of his base will be an issue in Castle Age. Like, that whole area is really tough to lock down. MbL will click up here. What do you think about Georgians these days on Arabia? Because obviously they were insanely strong upon release, and then they nerfed I think they nerfed the regen 2 separate times.
Yeah, they nerfed it. It used to be 5, and now it's, what, 2 in Feudal Age? And they decreased it for Castle Age as well.
Yeah.
I believe. So, like, that was a suggestive nerf for them. They're still very strong.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, like, you can't be outright winning scout fights for free in Feudal Age.
Yeah, they made it so skewed.
So I think they did a really good job with that, honestly. And I think the Catan change was also great. We'll have to see how it plays out, but
dude, I think
that's nice. Herod's going is he going fast castle here? Like what?
It might just be some greed here. He's getting loom. Maybe he's getting loom though because MbL's here. Yeah, he might be a fast castle play. That villager though could still die, and it will.
This one might too.
Oh, true. No way. And then MbL's scout regens.
Oh, I love watching Hera getting punished for no loom. Regen faster! Regen faster!
Get the feudal age! Get the feudal age! Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right, so feudal age will come in. MbL is going to keep in mind that villager is there, for sure. He's got the speed on his scout, but Hera's going for the full walls, and MbL will see this, and they'll see the late timing from Hera, too.
This is where...
And that's a lost villager.
Old meta here was you go scout tower and you punish this. Like, we'd have people coming forward all the time, but no one likes to come forward with towers. MbL typically does.
Mm-hmm.
See if he notices this. He's probably confused, but Jurchen's playing standard. I don't feel all that strong, but if you go for the fast castle, again, the Grenadier's insane. MbL did it himself. And so I think MbL senses something's up here with Hera still not in feudal age.
Dude, they should make... Yeah, the villagers are coming forward. They should make the chickens have, like, a peck attack that does 1 HP of damage. She would die.
A peck attack?
Like, if you're gonna shoot a chicken, I feel like it should retaliate a little bit, you know?
Okay, but then, like, deer don't retaliate?
No, deer run away.
Or
deer just run.
Or, like, I guess rhinos and elephants do retaliate, so...
Deer are herd animals. Like, they just get startled and they run away. A chicken, that's a different story, man. That thing might come at you. Especially if it's like a rooster.
Please don't say that. I don't want roosters in the game as well. Maybe there are some roosters out there. I haven't really looked.
Just some obnoxious roosters.
Dude,
there's probably some guy in your chat like, my neighbor has a rooster. I hate them all.
So loud. The Hera with some greed. This is the perfect time to be greedy and try something new, by the way. Because you're up 3-1. He's going to feel confident in his ability to win the rest of these games. But the tower came up. And now Hera will have to defend some more. And MbL should keep pumping out those scouts, in my opinion. He's still got the eco to do it. He is overqueuing Vils a little bit, though. So that could be part of the reason why he's not. But this feels to me like the Grenadier play. But, like, I mean, Hera's insane. But I know a player who can do it way better than this. His name is Phosphorus. He would have been encapsulated way faster with less investment.
Oh, Hera might lose a Vil here. He's got to be careful. He might lose a Vil. Got to be careful. He's
So
going to lose a
risky.
Vil.
So risky.
Like, he's busy with the quick walls, right?
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
Okay, so 2 villagers down for Hera. So this unit, which I'm assuming he's going for, it costs food and golds, and it's like a hand cannon with splash damage. It's got a bomb attack. And it's very strong. Hera's going to have to essentially buy the food. But he's still going to need to play some defense with these scouts. The shame MbL didn't have
outpost.
more villagers on stone.
Oh, and he gets Town Watch too. So outposts and Town Watch. So he can track the movements from Hera if Hera wants to leave the... I love these outposts here so much, dude.
Agreed.
If you're going up against a player who's playing fast castle and you're pressuring them on one side, the last thing you want is for those powerful castle age units to sneak out the front side.
Yeah.
And come to your base. That's really, really
MbL
nice.
knows what this is because he did this to Barles in the previous round. So he just needs to know where it's coming from. I'm still not really sure because I haven't seen the new version of this that frequently and seen a lot of test games. But, oh, wait. Hera's going to go Fire Lancers. Maybe.
Oh.
Because that's wood and gold.
I mean, he could do that.
Fire Lancers should be good against scouts. So that actually could be very nice. And that MbL might actually know now.
Though. Look at his vision once this outpost goes up.
Yeah.
There's going to be no secrets. Absolutely zero secrets here in Hera's base.
It's a shame for me that MbL never built a second tower. If he built a second tower, he's in. Or at least Hera, like, is losing more of his walls. Yeah, Fire Lancers are on the way. This is interesting because Fire Lancers should be very good against scouts. So the normal play of going full feudal with, like, YOLO scouts might not be super justifiable here.
No level of surprise here from MbL, though. Like, the outposts, the towers.
Yeah.
You'll see the Fire Lancers come out.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what's happening here.
And Hera also knows that he knows and is letting him know that he knows by attacking
so
the
now
outpost.
MbL knows that Hera knows.
And
Hera knows that MbL knows that Hera knows.
Yeah.
It's just whether MbL knows that Hera knows that MbL knows that Hera knows.
And what does Hera know that he needs to go hit MbL in the nose? I don't know. He needs to attack fast. Like, attacking the outpost, yeah, not my best work, but I think attacking the outpost, a little bit of wasted time here. And he doesn't...
Sending a villager forward, too, and MbL can see that.
There's also a hole there, which MbL could have run through if he wished to, which would have been frustrating, but MbL doesn't want to lose these scouts. Stonewalling along the front, very smart from MbL.
So you send the villager forward, and you have less than 100 of every resource. Okay, there we go. He buys some wood, and it's going to be a siege workshop.
You know,
MbL will come back with the scouts here. Hera's going to have to really protect this villager.
I might get a little bit of flack saying this, but I think it's accurate. Hera's doing this, and if it works, he's going to be like, best strategy ever. If this wouldn't have been his idea, and he saw this, he would have said 7 reasons why you should never, ever do this.
Oh, yeah, this is horrible.
It's so greedy. Yeah. It's so bad with your eco, you know. But if you're going to play all in, this is basically how you should do it. It's not the typical Hera play. And MbL dropping a tower now. I mean, you're right. Hera doesn't really have a lot of resources to spend right now. He still can't make mangonels.
Another tower from MbL. Very MbL defense here.
Yeah. I like towers because I also like cav archers as an option here.
I mean, towers might not kill this stuff, but it's going to buy you time.
Yeah.
And right now you are in favor of time because you have the better eco than Hera does. Also, he could clear up these Fire Lancers potentially with the scouts. Let's see how well these do.
I'm really glad we're seeing this.
Not very good.
When I first saw Fire Lancer cost only wood and gold, I thought that it would catch on really quick. Because you don't need the food. You can produce Vils and still spam Fire Lancers out of 2 racks. And they have range and melee. It's like it took people time to think that the Ratha were very strong, for example. And that's out of a castle. This one's just out of a barracks. You have melee and range. Hera needs to be careful not to kill his own units. This is dangerous. Hera might dive underneath these towers here.
And MbL's
crazy.
Losing a couple scouts, so now the rocket cart can move around more or less freely.
Yeah, look how fast the tower goes down.
In there, and he's killing the towers so quickly with those fire lancers. Castle Age does come in for MbL. Second archer range as well, so it's going to be cav archers, which should perform quite well against those. But it's 15 fire lancers. Hera's done a phenomenal job keeping the town center working and keeping the fire lancers coming out.
Yep. I mean, he only lost 2 vills. He's still taking every resource he needs back at home. And this is quite the push here. The question is, what counters a Fire Lancer? I would say Cav Archers is a good option, but Cav Archers, you need all the Blacksmith upgrades. Cav Archers, you need to be in Castle Age. That's taken MbL some time. And then there's the Siege as well. The Rocket Carts are another part of this problem here. It's also...
Siege Workshop going up.
In terms of player instinct, like when you see a unit has range, you never want to go melee units. So if melee units are good against this, it's not a unit you're going to go for because they're hitting you before you hit them. So like knights and longswords just feel weird. But I think longswords are supposed to be a good option against this if you have the economy.
I also think with this amount of fire lancers, like you can one-shot a Treb with your Maginot with your charge attack.
Yeah, which is really strong. And I don't know about you, but I prefer rocket carts to Maginot's in Castle Age.
Yeah, it depends on the situation, I think.
Yeah. If you're pushing bases, I prefer rocket carts. Because you take down buildings a lot faster before masonry, to my knowledge. Like, this is really
fast. He takes out the tower, the backside of his base, so he can go out to that stone now. He can try and re-wall that. Maybe get some extra town centers as he keeps the pressure up on MbL's base. Let's see if MbL gets a big shot here. That's a good one on the rocket cart.
Yeah, really nice shot. MbL also sees the other rocket cart is weak. Your typical forward is going to have a villager repairing the siege. Hera didn't have that. And I'm being told by chat you can't actually use the ranged attack against siege with the Fire Lancer.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. That's cool. That's actually great.
Man, really intense stuff here. This is...
You can tell how often I've used this unit, dude. Not very often at all.
Yeah, this is some nice defense here from MbL. Still could go either way, though. Like, this is not a massive lead or anything. Hera's Siege Workshop is a problem. But MbL is held against this. Wonder what Hera chooses to do now. He's got a monk out, which actually could be killed by the scout, but... Oh, he chooses to convert! Which was not the play there, and he loses the monk. Oh, man. I don't think MbL knew about that.
Oh, and the scout gets away again.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. It's taken 77 HP of damage. It's going to heal up again. Nice job.
Yeah.
And the Cav Archer number is getting up there, and I don't like Fire Lancers against Cav Archers long term.
Agreed.
When it was early and he had 15 against 5, sure. But now,
Hera
looking great for Hera.
Hera will be kicking himself that he didn't repair those earlier rocket carts, but he's fixed that now and brought 2 villagers forward. And Micro is of the utmost importance here for both. The monk goes down, the Cav Archers go down, the Fire Lancers, though, need to be careful. The churches do fire arrows
Church
here.
is a huge addition here for MbL.
Yeah.
Very cheap to lock down the front side of the base. Just enough arrows to keep Hera honest. And he dodges around that shot. That's a really nice job with those rocket carts. Taking quite a bit of damage from that church, though. And a big shot from MbL almost gets it.
Yeah, he needs to be careful. And he almost takes out his own Mangonel. It does go down. He should save this one. And he's actually counterattacking with his other CA right now, which I really like.
Fire Lancers are, yeah. There's only 5 Fire Lancers now from Hera.
Yeah,
and numbers have been dwindling.
Hera's monastery wasn't with the push, so your typical siege forward, you have the vills still there, you have the monasteries there as well. It's all kind of spread out here from Hera. And MbL scout, dude, that same scout comes in and snipes another monk. That is so difficult to do.
And he gets the weak vill from before.
No way!
He got the weak villager from before. Yeah, he sniped her and he's gonna leave.
Wow.
He's taking 82 damage with that scout. It's currently 22 out of 65 HP, so he has healed up quite a bit.
Impressive.
Nice job. Good value with 1 unit. 4 kills on that guy already.
Now he's on the wood line as well, and that will distract Hera from his push. Or will it, though? Is he looking here? He's definitely looking here. But MbL kills
MbL.
2 rocket carts. And the GG
MbL,
is called.
pop off, buddy. Oh, my goodness.
Damn.
The engagements there at the end were insane.
That was
MbL
insane.
takes back a game. That was a crazy, greedy, aggressive build from Hera. He gets punished early by the scout, kills the villager, and then MbL does the tower forward, and it still got to a point where Hera looked like he could snowball. But a good defense from MbL with double tower. They both go down. And then the Cav Archers and the Mangonels and the Fortified Church are enough.
The micro
great
is
job.
The micro is really what won the game for MbL there. Look at the difference in the units produced. 16 Cav Archers versus 27 Fire Lancers. 4 Mangonels versus 8 Rocket Carts. It was crazy micro. And part of that, too, is that scout. Like, that's a distraction. That, some of those monks were picked off, as you said. So, well played. I think the strat's good from Hera. I don't hate it. I don't think it's like the best strat ever or anything, but I think that is definitely viable. And maybe more so with the Jurchens than any Civ because of the no decay on their hunt.
I mean, if you have a map like this, it's really solid, right? Hera never actually took his berries at all doing that strat either. Those were the only badly positioned resources in his base, but a back gold and woodlines close by the TC, sure, why not? Try it.
Yep. I wonder, I'd be curious to ask MbL about if he would have done anything differently in the early game. I'm curious how this goes if he goes to stone and continues to build towers with scouts. It might die to just full Fire Lancers then, but in the end,
I think you're in feudal age too long, right? Where are you're gonna make the second tower on the same wood line? Because if you make it on the other wood line, it's not doing much.
I was thinking on like where the barracks were, there was that house there. You just build it right there, and you're just battering down the buildings. But you're right. Then you're in feudal age. Scouts are not an answer to Fire Lancer. So, yeah, probably played it exactly as is, which was not easy. So, Hera loses that game. Definitely a little bit of experimentation compared to some of the other strategies. And he does have the Katans. And, dude, I still think that they're OP. I think they're insane. Because the pastures, to my knowledge, at least with my testing and at least like what I've heard, they're still bringing in food faster than anything else in the game. Like, it's crazy. We got the Romans for Hera and the Vietnamese for MbL. So back to your point from earlier, pretty nice Civ. You can kind of play it anywhere, the Vietnamese. You know exactly where the opponent's TC is. And they can play archers, they can play scouts, they can play knights even. Have the great rats and archers later on. Just one of the more flexible Civs in our game right now. Ooh.
It should be really, really nice for MbL. And I think just knowing where Hera is immediately is just such a big bonus because for MbL, he can come forward and he takes the sheep. He sees the boar. Is he going to, I mean, old MbL would steal this 100%.
Yes.
Here we go. Here we go. Can Hera see that? He doesn't even know.
He doesn't know. He's pushing his deer.
He's
pushing his deer. He's against Vietnamese. He's pushing his deer, just hoping and praying MbL doesn't lame. There's only one boar on this map. There's not 2. So there's no question that is going to be 2 boars for MbL, 0 for Hera. And what a start here, man. I mean, if he can back this up with some really solid pressure in feudal, we might be at a game 7 pretty soon. 6 stuff.
And he actually might find his sheep as he's coming home, which is always a great bonus.
Yeah, true.
It's like, oh, I'll just grab those. Okay. I'm surprised. Well, I guess I'm not surprised because MbL's been doing this for years, but it's so much easier to just do the stop micro when you're pulling in a boar with a scout. You can do it without even looking at the boar.
Yeah.
You can pull it all the way from halfway across the map if you get the tempo right. I'm surprised MbL hasn't taken that approach yet, but I guess he's been doing this kind of stuff in 400 ping for 15 years. Right?
Yeah. I think with other players, though, I agree. It's just like pushing deer, like watching Dowd push deer without using the follow command makes me want to scream. Because he will sometimes push the deer the wrong way a bunch of times. So there's a bunch of those little tricks you can use. Does Hera know now that his boar has been stolen? To me, it looks like he's looking for it.
He's looking for it. He's going to search all of these little patches. Like the one tile of darkness. He'll go and look at that.
Yeah.
Look at the front. He's going for a mill, and that berry bush is very far forward.
The bigger deal, because he might come to the conclusion now he's been lamed, but he doesn't actually see another patch of deer to push. So this is bad. This is real bad. He's also, I think, a little thrown off. He needs a house. He'll do that now, so that's fine. He should know now that he's been lamed, especially because MbL's score was higher for a little bit.
He just saw the deer over there.
Now he sees that deer. Yeah.
So he could maybe push one of those. Yeah, he could have got the double push, but he pushes the deer away. So it's only one deer coming in. Now, usually, like the old thought process around laming, I think before people saw it too often, was that the other guy that got lamed is super far behind, like really inescapably far behind. But most games where a player gets lamed, the pros are able to adapt quite nicely, especially with a civ like Romans, and it doesn't turn out to be that bad at the end of the day. It just means your early aggression can't really come through as quickly.
Yeah, but most maps, when they're getting lamed, they have 2 boars and they lose
Another
one.
board, yeah.
And so, and I guess other maps don't have as much deer to recover, but the rate at which you bring in sheep, which is the only thing Hera's had, is super slow. So I'm a little concerned. I think Hera will definitely not get horse collar now. You can't.
I mean, he can go up right now if he unqueues the vills.
Yeah, maybe. But then I think you got to go like 20 pop, maybe 19. Oh, I'd be really surprised if he can get the timings down. If his barracks and stables up and he gets double bid X and horse collar at the perfect time, I'll be really impressed here. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, see, like he gets lamed. He's going to be able to go up at 18 villagers. And it's just great adaptation, right? All the pros at the top level can do this. They can survive being lamed. They've been lamed long enough, or tons of times, usually by MbL. I respect
at the end of the day,
it's just about how much food you have left over under your TC in feudal age, right? It's not really about the timing to feudal age anymore.
MbL will be up very quickly. Obviously has the food. He's got the sheep. The thing that gets tricky now, though, is how your wood spend. So you can get the feudal, but you need a barracks, you need a stable, you need double bit, you need farms. And Hera's got 1 sheep underneath his TC. So I think his feudal age time will be nice. But I don't know if his... And the scouts are just passing each other. If the timing will be great on everything else, and MbL says, no, you don't. I'm not going to let you push that deer.
I do like how Hera pushed the deer to the mill so he can be faster to push this one in instead of bringing it all the way back to the TC. That's hilarious from MbL. He's just a menace, man.
And it's at the level.
Says, nope.
It's at the level where Hera won't even try and attack MbL because he knows MbL will just run away. So MbL will be feudal age faster. He'll get to look around the map, which he probably should do because he didn't scout too much. And Hera, 400 food. Very nice food time. Barracks time is good. Stable time should actually be almost instant as well. And double bit should follow. Still curious on the farm situation for him. But,
dude,
nice job.
If half of chat, more than half, if all of chat got lame like this on Land Madness, they'd be up with 24 villagers. And Hera's up with 18 or whatever, right? And he had 400 food in the bank, and he can actually make scouts.
Yeah. You could also argue that a certain percentage of chat would have found their boar and been there to stop it instead of pushing deer instantly, depending on the player.
No.
No?
You're highly overestimating chat.
Okay. I guess that's fair. MbL going Archer Spearman now instead of scouts, and Hera's going to be like, huh? And he didn't actually see the Archer, though. So he just saw the spears. This almost reminds me of Maya. Do you remember Maya? The spear, archer, skirmisher guy in the Hun War? Like the same 4 units going forward every single game.
Yep.
Everyone was going scouts, and he was going trash. And here he goes. Hera will see this. Hera dropping the range. Lack of food income underneath the TC beginning to be a problem for him, though. MbL still doesn't need to add a single farm.
Romans are helping out with this as well. Like, res collected is dead even here. Despite the fact that MbL had that extra boar. He's going for the fast wheelbarrow because he's housed. Classic. And at least it's fast with Vietnamese, right? So that actually does make sense a little bit. And now he's got double spearman forward with the archer, and it's just so nice because it's so tough for Hera to fight that.
It doesn't look like Hera's bothered by this, and he does a really good job at keeping his eco efficient all the time. I like the build, though, because Hera's... This disrupts your eco, and Hera's eco is already really tough to stabilize. So I think if you just send scouts in, Hera will make 2 spears and defend from it much easier. This is at least, like, messy and annoying, and it takes Hera's focus away from some aspects, maybe. But Hera on skirms way faster than I would be. And on 5 scouts, which I definitely wouldn't have been at after the lane. The farm count's looking all right. And MbL's little, we'll call it the distraction army, is just going to walk away together now. So no real
Let's see if
follow-up
Hera
yet.
can find this stable from MbL, because he made it at the back. It's a bit sneakier. Obviously, you're making scout skirm. You're worried about the scouts coming out, but if you don't know the timing, he still might be caught off guard. Especially when you're trying to compare your own eco. Even after getting laned, I think mentally you still kind of compare your own timings with your opponent.
Yeah.
And you're thinking like, okay, I wouldn't be able to add in a stable yet. MbL, however, had the boar. He's got wheelbarrow already. He's had a good food eco, right?
Especially,
so he can add that stable. He can get the scouts in.
Especially MbL. For years, he would be picking Vikings when no one else would, or be very happy with getting early wheelbarrow or handcart, because he's like, I've got that over my opponent right now. Now, that wasn't the best engagement in terms of kills. He obviously lost everything there. But he did get some hits in on the scouts. And really, he just needs to match Hera's scout number, and he'll be fine, because he has the lead in HP then. And people paying attention to the vill count. Remember, wheelbarrow takes time to research. That takes 3 villagers worth of time for Hera to research. Hera doesn't have that yet. So, assuming he gets that eventually, Hera will be behind in vills then.
He's also got Romans, though, and he's ahead on res collected.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's an interesting game. Like, I think with other players, I don't like MbL's opening here. But with this combination of players, I fully understand it. Hera's like, you're going to be doing something here, bro. Show me what you've got. That can't be it. And he splits up.
He's been keeping the scouts in reserve, and now Hera suddenly sees those. So 4 scouts for MbL, 4 scouts for Hera. He was keeping the archers in reserve too. Here comes the blacksmith, so fletching should follow shortly. And the eco is looking pretty good for both players, to be honest. I mean, Horse Collar isn't in for Hera, so in a minute here, he's going to have some problems with the farms reseeding. But at the moment, military production has been fantastic already.
This is a good. That was a nice engagement for MbL. He just needs to be careful, needs to escort his units properly. Hera will have the home field advantage with the scouts now.
Forging first.
Okay. Well, scouts are the most important now, because you're up against skirms and then other scouts. So I like that. It would be risky, but if MbL went sneak with the archers and then just went raiding with the scouts, to split them up here, I don't think Hera's expecting that. Look at the paranoia from Hera. MbL literally hasn't moved. MbL stayed exactly where he was the last 45 seconds, and Hera's like, where is he? Where is he?
This is fantastic from Hera, though. The outpost on both sides is crazy good, right? Because he expects MbL to split up the archers almost.
I don't think he's expecting the upgrades, though. He's going to try and get Castle Age. Forging and fletching is in, but that is a lot of army from Hera. You can micro your way to victory here if it's good enough. And MbL doesn't have the scout numbers. He does get some good pickoffs there. He picks off his first vill. But now his archers need to get out of here.
Went a little too deep. Yeah, went a little too deep with that one. He was trying to get that scout at weak HP. Good micro still from MbL to get the hits on the scouts, but Hera's going to hunt these archers down. MbL will manage to escape, though, and he's with forging, he's going to kill a lot of skirmishers.
It's so greedy from Hera. It's so greedy.
This is so greedy.
I mean, 0 blacksmith upgrades. Just not walled at all. No tower, too. Just really hoping that he can just get away with this. And it's on MbL now to really punish him. We've seen a lot of instances where Hera's been greedy in this series, and he has been punished at times. And even right now, going back to some of these farms, like something that a lot of people just never do. He thinks he can get away with it. What's his comp in Castle?
I think MbL has to realize now, with this many farms and that little military investment after the initial fight, that Hera's on the way to Castle Age. I think MbL has to know.
He doesn't know where the gold is. If he knew where the gold was, I think he'd be going there. But he simply hasn't had that knowledge. Hera just now getting fletching, so at least now his skirms will have the range, and he's using the TC to protect.
I mean, kill the farms or something, MbL. Just do something.
In MbL's mind, he killed a Vil. He never lost one. He got wheelbarrow, which is faster for him. And that's 3 or 4 farms that Hera's not actually working on.
And Castle Age on the way. And look at the farming eco from MbL.
Yeah, crazy.
Oof.
No walls.
Add 2 more stables, sure. Just keep adding stables, dude.
I think I'd like to see MbL get over to this wood line right now. Like,
Yep.
he's essentially... He has the scouts to box those skirms out. He could be camped on that wood line. Hera is getting bloodlines now, though. Honestly, I think MbL can engage against those skirms and scouts, potentially, but
He's getting the armor.
he's not really certain. And now Hera's up.
again. He's been out 15 times this game, dude. Oh my god.
Honestly,
Every 5 pop.
every time MbL picks Huns on his draft, I'm really going to hope that he saves it for Game 7. Because having, like, he was fine in Game 1, but then when he played, whatever game he played Huns, after that, he's been getting housed so much. Just puts you in this mentality where you don't need houses.
All right, so Hera comes forward with the army. MbL's going to sneak in with the scouts. I would love to see him go to the backside of the base where he hasn't scouted, because that's where the gold has to be, and potentially another wood line too. And with these scouts, with the upgrades they have, it's actually a dangerous unit. One knight can't really take care of that whole army. But Hera comes forward, he spots the market. MbL's got military there. He's fine.
He's got spears, and Hera's defending, and as Hera defends, he will lose some of those scouts.
Dude, those archers from MbL looped all the way around, and they're going to show up on the wood line and the gold.
Yeah, MbL needs some chaos. He needs some randomness right now, because Hera's got the initiative with the timings. Elite Skirm is in. Elite Skirm will ultimately die to Knights, which I think MbL will go for. He'll also go for Light Cav. And so Hera ventures very far forward. MbL showed this many scouts, and Hera's going this far forward with Skirms?
Look at this army from MbL on the left side.
Does Hera see it?
He's got the outpost.
Yeah.
Doesn't have Town Watch, so he won't see it too far in advance. But MbL knows all about the gold. He knows about the wood line.
Don't
there
attack
too
the
now.
house. You stupid archers, don't attack anything. They're going to attack
He's gonna
something.
attack the
Gives him a
villagers.
notification.
Dang.
He's fighting elsewhere. We've all been there. Hera gets a chance to react, but is it enough? The Light Cav are still going to find some damage. Hera will still have to move away from this gold. And nice energy from MbL. He's just coming in from all angles here. He's been patient at times, but this is the moment to go for it. And MbL, multiple villagers picked, and Hera off of that gold. And now I'd like to
And
see
he's pushing him
MbL
back in the center too.
I'd love to see MbL go Cav Archers now. I know it feels weird when the opponent has skirms, but they don't really have... Hera doesn't really have the eco to add many more skirms if he's also committed to Knights like this.
Yep.
MbL onto the second page of production with units here on Capture Age. He's produced a little bit of everything. He'll take the fight. He knows that Hera is looking for gold over here now. He doesn't actually kill another villager yet. There's a lot of weak ones. Oh, no way, dude.
So many weak ones.
So many weak
ones there. But he doesn't get him. He's going back to the goal with the light cav. He's mixed in one cav archer, but he was kind of bottlenecked on wood because he went for the second TC first.
Yeah. I think that's good, though, because when you're up against
He's
Knights...
going to go for a third one, too.
You need the protection against the Knights right now. I also like the defensive
does he go
monks
for that
from MbL.
gold? He saw how many weak vills are over there. Does he go for that gold?
Dude, how many
Looks like he
times do we
wants to.
see someone against Hera run into a Hera outpost and say, he sees me, I gotta go back, right? But
Yeah.
there's been multiple instances now where MbL sees it and says, show me the army to actually stop me, and then I'll go back. And there's been times where Hera just hasn't had enough. Been a great game. And another game where Hera's 1 TC and MbL's 3. It's not just 1 versus 2, it's 1 versus 3.
Yep. Hera's got 2 stables producing knights. He's going in for a monastery now, so he's going to mix in knight, skirm, monk. Very Hera-esque combination right there.
I mean, he's going to have a crazy army. And
Yeah.
one town center economy with Romans is going to be just flying. But that's going to take a little bit. And I'm seeing all 3 of these TCs for MbL producing when he already has a 10 villager lead. And MbL's monk there to scare those knights away. Just needs to get the Cav Archer mass up. I think if he gets the Cav Archer mass up, he will be in a better position.
Yeah, he should probably like wall his base a little bit more. It's really tough on Land Madness, but he can wall to the edges on multiple sides.
Yep. Will MbL get housed at 90 pop? He's producing a lot right now.
100%.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, it'll happen. But maybe not if he loses a couple villagers. He is reacting there. He also has the raid with the light cav. If he only went to that gold, he'd kill 7 vills, 8 vills. But he kills a farmer, and he defends his gold now. And Hera will look for some revenge, pick off some villagers with the knights that now have +2 armor. He's also luring MbL's knights away a little bit. MbL knows that. And light cav pull away for MbL. But 15 villager lead for MbL. And we now see some houses, and we see handcart, which is a huge upgrade.
Huge upgrade. Yep. The Knights, dude, it's so crazy how consistently Hera saves the Knights. Like, he's got one running away at 1 HP. Sorry, 2 HP. You might not actually get that away, but the fact that you can even get close when that is in the back of MbL's base being chased by military.
Yeah, it's impressive. I do think it's a trend that is not necessarily good, though. He needs attacks all the time. So he can't really sit back. He's got the monks ready to convert, though. Hera forces a delete there from MbL. And now MbL waiting at home with his hill and his own monks and his own spears and the cav archers and the light cav. And the skirms yet again a little too far forward here for Hera. Potentially.
2 relics in for MbL already. If he takes out the skirms, the Knights are free. You can just jump around with those cav archers. But once again, Hera, good positioning with the Knights and the skirms. He'll probably bring the monks forward to heal everything and start getting some conversions. And MbL has to make sure that he keeps enough cavalry, because at some point, Hera might want to mix in scorpions as well with Romans.
Dude. Yeah, no, agreed. I'm just getting excited here. MbL's got to spend those resources. He just had 1,000 res in the bank. Really easy when you have an eco this good for that to all like rise up on you.
Third
but
relic.
He's got to produce big time here. And then this is his game.
Forward too. There's going to be a relic on the right side too, against the edge of the map. He's going to find with these houses.
20 knights for Hera.
Oh, he didn't find it.
20 knights with +2.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
The monks are critical for MbL. He needs to get every conversion. Yep. But he does have a nice meat shield with knights and light cav, and there's still not that many skirms for Hera. And I just think maybe MbL needs to back up a little bit. Right up to that hill that he was on. I don't think there's a big need for him to be moving out right now, at least based on what we see. He has to quick wall that wood line. He's got to protect his gold. Dude, that's a crazy amount of knights.
Yep.
I love how Hera
he's got
knights
15 of his own, right? 9 in the cube. MbL adds 2 more stables, which is necessary.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to have to deal with the knights sitting under the TCs again, similar to that crater game, right? He's getting iron casting now. Does not have the second armor upgrade, which Hera already has, but Hera doesn't have forging, which is getting right now. And the conversions are coming in. Hera's trying to snipe with the skirmishers. MbL gets some clutch conversions, though, and the cav archers are behind here, and the light cav from MbL going in and sniping the monks, too.
Look at the vill difference.
He's going to win this fight.
30 villager lead for MbL. He just needs to hold one time, and we take it to game 7. And it feels like it's very close to enough, and it is. MbL.
Oh, my goodness.
Great game there. The lame at the start. And then the boom here, man. I mean, that was so well played. 3 town centers so fast. And you just have this feeling when Hera's playing, of course, that he's going to be able to get the job done. He's got that reputation now. But it's just 1 TC the whole game. And the army was not enough. He only killed 4 villagers from MbL the entire game. So, crazy.
It was an incredible recovery, considering he got a sheep and a boar lamed.
I agree.
On Land Madness, where it's only a 1 boar map. He's up 1 villager later only.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's able to completely counter MbL with the early feudal age and then get up to castle age first. That is insane. So you can see Hera really, really adapting to the bad start there forced out by MbL. But MbL never looked back. He just added eco a little bit faster. He got wheelbarrow quick, competitive castle age timing. And I think the big thing was that one fight where he snuck around the archers and the light cav on the left.
Yep.
It just forced Hera back with everything. And once Hera can't dictate the game, MbL's free to add those extra TCs, and he's just in a fantastic position.
Yeah, there's Hera has gained enough respect where he will sometimes stay wide open, But because he hits the next stage faster or something, people won't attack him. MbL sent in different armies all the time. I like that. I thought it was too greedy from Hera. He stabilized from the lane. He made some army. And then MbL's still showing up with scouts and archers. He just kind of stopped. So maybe he could have stayed in Feudal Age a little longer there. But hard to say, of course. And MbL just playing amazing Age of Empires right now. So the key for me really has been who's spamming the most army, right? Which sounds so stupid because it all comes back to eco. Like, obviously, the guy who makes more army is going to win. But the greed really has been punished in this series so far. The numbers have mattered. Oh, God, and it's Game 7 on Socotra?
No one's won a home map yet.
Oh,
if the trend continues, MbL's going to win this because nobody has won a home map.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Game 7 Socotra is wild, though. That's not what you would expect, for sure. Usually players pick it earlier because they don't want to save it for a Game 7 situation. Goths versus Khitans. Wow.
All right. Well, I remember the last time Hera played Socotra, he didn't bring in his elephant right away, and he won right away. Or he ended up winning the game anyways. Oh, this is an interesting generation. This is a crazy generation and map for Game 7 because they both have their ostrich in the middle. Now, the elephants, you only have one. Those elephants need to be brought in right away. That is rule number 1 of Socotra.
Hera's trying to find it. MbL's trying to find it as well.
Yeah, Hera will find... Oh, he misses his elephant. But I imagine he'll find it. Will he bring it in right away? It looks like he will. And MbL's still looking for that. MbL also doesn't see the group of ostrich. Even seeing the group of ostrich would be good. He could shoot that down. But this is what Goths could do. They can get instant loom. And on this map, they will come forward with that Vil.
Uh-oh.
Just not that forward.
I mean, you can also lame the villagers trying to go up for a lumber camp. Hera might be forced to take stragglers early too, right? Ooh! What a gate from MbL! Oh my goodness. Couple of hits, and now Hera can't take the 1v1 scout warrior.
MbL might get real crazy because he saw an elephant come underneath the TC, and he doesn't see his own. So he might think that his elephant is gone right now.
No, I don't know.
He also doesn't see the ostrich. He's still looking for them. His ostrich are on the front, so sometimes the other player's ostrich will be very far away. MbL also 21 seconds of TC idle time, by the way, which is not great.
Well, there goes his advantage with Loom coming in, right?
Yeah, exactly. Hera's done
that's
well.
Why it's 8-8.
And Hera also doesn't know anything about his ostrich and will maybe be looking, and MbL's chasing, and MbL sees them now. So we might see even more villagers come forward. Hera losing this scout would actually be horrible because he doesn't yet know that MbL's ostrich are there. But maybe he's getting an idea. Oof.
He got a couple downhill hits there. Not the greatest engagements ever for MbL. MbL is now getting downhill hits against Hera, but his villager is weaker, and MbL still doesn't see the elephant, which is horrible for this early start. He's trying to lame the ostrich, though. Hera won't be able to push those in because they're going to be dead.
Yep.
And he's unable to stop that.
Dude,
just bring a goat over and scout the elephant, dude. Oh my goodness.
He's got his scout. He might push in the ostrich, though. Because if that elephant has been stolen, you obviously need the ostrich.
Yep.
And Hera trying to push in the ostrich as quickly as possible, but they're getting shot down. MbL just needs to be careful with that Vil. Imagine Game 7 after however long it's been hours, and having to play this map. Crazy. So we talked about the Goths, but the Khitans here. I think their pastures are ridiculous. I think they're insane.
Yeah, they should be. MbL's going to find the elephant.
He finds his
elephant. Sees it.
Yep,
he sees it.
I think Hera should go Spears and Skirms. Because you have what I consider to be the best food eco in the game with the pasture. That may be debatable by some. And then you produce Spears and Skirms 25% faster.
In Feudal Age.
Yeah.
Your Spears could have 5 attack in Feudal Age.
Yeah.
That's pretty slick, honestly.
And we've seen a lot of skirms be the meta on this map because everyone's super close. They just smother you with skirms and spears. So I think it's a good pick here from Hera with all that in mind. I also like how Hera's been taking the ostrich and just walking out to them. That's good. That's necessary.
Yep.
And he will build a mill on the berries, which is also good. MbL will do the same right now.
Could potentially wall in this villager here, but Hera's not going to bother with that. He's just going to fight it, and MbL will take that food home. What little food he has. MbL still taking the elephant now under his TC. He goes out for the mill as well, but a fairly even game so far, all things considered. And there's the first barracks. So that generally implies that MbL is going to go for some militia here in the Dark Age.
I'm a little bit surprised by that. But then again, on paper, Goths should be the civ to do that, right? Oh, nice hit
he
there.
might kill the scout from Hera too. If Hera can get away from this, is really nice. Good job from Hera.
Will Hera be able to
keeping
get
the scout alive?
Will Hera be able to get the food to go feudal age? Because I think a Dark Age pasture is more than fine. Maybe just add one. That's 2 villagers working on it. There it is. And yeah, militia are going to come. I'm also wondering, will MbL ever make it to feudal age? Because you have so little food on this map.
That's a good question. I could see this game ending for him in Dark Age if this drush doesn't work
Dude,
out.
I've seen this just become this never-ending cycle of militia then, because you're stuck.
Yep. I mean, Hera's really trying, man. He went for the one pasture, and that should be enough. He's got 8 villagers on the berries. Now he has to try and drop off with the villagers that have been hunting.
Yeah, and
he should be able to make it to feudal age, and MbL's militia now are going to chase these villagers into the TC. So well played from Hera to get to the feudal age, or up to the feudal age rather, with a single pasture.
So pastures, you have 2 villagers working on them. It's new. It's only for this civ, and basically when this civ was released, they were
he got it!
insane. The militia are here now, so Hera's got to have his boxing gloves ready. I don't know if you have the boxing mod, but I do. It always confuses people.
It won't enable for me.
Oh, really?
I tried reinstalling it like 5 times. It just doesn't work for my account for whatever reason.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
Well,
it's the only visual mod I really want.
It's the only
MbL
one.
sends more villagers forward, dude. He's just going to kill this mill and take the berries, maybe.
Yeah, but the question then is Hera fine with that? I think you kind of are. Like, who cares? You've got 2 pastures. You've got 200 food. You don't actually need those berries, but maybe I'm wrong. He's trying to claim this, like, save it. I don't know what he's doing.
I have no idea. This mill's going down, though.
All right. Well, and MbL's going to build a mill. He says, that looks like a good spot for a mill. I'll try that. And he does need the food, so that's actually pretty important right now. He might be able to click up the feudal. Maybe.
So it should be an archer range, and it should be skirmishers here for Hera, right? He does have the gold in the back.
Listen, guys, you are going to be shocked.
Are probably good.
Like, everyone's talking about the scouts. No one's talking about the skirms. If you think players can, like, min-max and go 1 range and full eco with other civs, this skirm count's going to be so freaking high, man. And the pastures are safe. And here come those skirms. By the time MbL's in feudal age, Hera's going to have a pretty big army. MbL is taking some stone, though. And we should mention that skirms long-term, not so good against Goths if Goths can get Huskarls. And maybe in this game, maybe even Man-at-Arms.
MbL should get to feudal age and douche.
I kind of I respect the energy, yeah. especially because
you were so ready to shoot that down, too.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I was initially gonna be like, "You're kidding me! It's a game 7." But then I thought about it, and I'm like, pastures are actually really vulnerable to arrow fire, and they're 100 wood. So you're not just denying the TC; you're denying the potential for pastures.
I mean, he's on stone right now, so he's definitely going to think about towers, and towers on these pastures could be good too. But I mean, at the moment, he's still ahead on res collected. So MbL taking advantage of the berries, taking advantage of the Goss hunt bonus, has a few farms of his own, and walling up at home.
If I were MbL, I would be so mad at myself that I didn't pick Wu right now against these skirms, because your infantry would be regenerating. Here he goes with the tower. He just keeps making more militia. That's what the Goths are good at, and Hera will build a defensive tower.
And, like, old men-at-arms in this situation, the old upgrade, you'd be like, okay, it's not giving me that much value.
Yeah.
Because the skirms are here. But with the new speed boost, it's actually quite nice because you can catch up to those skirms with the men-at-arms, and they're faster than the militia, right? So that's actually nice upgrade there from MbL. Hera's forced to go into the counter tower. He now has fletching. The skirms can't really do damage to MbL's base because he's walled and the men-at-arms are there. And he adds in an archer range of his own. So pretty good setup here for both players, honestly.
MbL just going to build another tower here, which just protects the stone. There's not any accessible stone for Hera unless he goes to the middle. So that will be the only tower Hera builds. But the skirms are doing enough. Killing a villager here. They are just constantly throwing this group of javelins into the man-at-arms. And yeah, with good micro, the skirm still solid counter to the man-at-arms, which makes you think, what does MbL do now if the skirms come to his base? But to your point, he is walled.
Wall in front of your farms, please. Don't let the skirms go past your tower or your TC. There's also a weak vill there. I could easily see Hera sniping that vill and then walking right inside the MbL space.
He's on one range. 11 skirms already for Hera and the pastures, dude. I'm telling you. They removed the Dark Age bonus, right? They removed the Shepherd bonus.
Yep.
So they didn't have the Dark Age bonus and the pastures. I don't know how much the changes actually affected the pastures.
Here comes Hera right past the TC. Nice house wall there from MbL. The thing I hate about the pastures, dude, is what they do to my mini map on captures.
Agreed.
They take a paint bucket tool and they just dunk all this blue or red or whatever all over the mini map, dude.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I think that's something Capture Age will have to change eventually. Yeah. But it is pretty jarring. I'm thinking through the options for MbL against this many skirms. The natural play would be to maybe go scouts. That does then sink you deeper into feudal age. And Hera's resources are rising for castle age. 500 food already. And he doesn't seem too bothered by these man-at-arms and by this tower right now.
This is such a stupid fight. Who approaches a fight like that with the skirms? Only Hera, right? Like, two different groups. He's not afraid of the tower. He's not afraid of the men-at-arms. He's just going to chill right underneath that.
Yeah, dude, Hera's going to bring his own vills right now and rush his tower down.
Yeah.
MbL's in big trouble. Hera's going to click castle after producing 16 skirms with fletching. Like, this is insane. And MbL's like, what do I do? If I run, I die. I have to hop in and out of the tower. MbL cannot fight this because Hera will just back away with the skirms. The skirms will eventually kill the man-at-arms. Horrible situation for MbL right now. And there's the res for Castle Age already for Hera. Damn.
That just sucks for MbL. You gotta be Kitan me, man. You can't get away with this.
I can't believe you made that joke. No. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one.
I mean, he's got the pasture set up, dude. He's got 10 pastures right now. And honestly, he's played so well with the skirms. I think a lot of players would have just avoided that tower. And Hera just has so much confidence and great skirm production. And he's just going to keep pressuring the villagers there. Now he comes forward again. MbL has to worry about that. MbL is still a ways away from Castle Age himself. He doesn't even have a market. And yeah, this is not looking good.
It's not looking good. Hera has constant skirm production, and he is getting armor for Cav, and he's going to have over 500 food when he makes it to Castle Age, man. These things are tough. Now, the way that Civ is balanced, their late game is kind of awkward against other Civs.
Buns.
So they're really good in early game, but it's Socotra. Like, feels like the perfect fit then. This is one range production on the skirms. One range.
It's what's the percentage all time?
25.
72%. Feels like feels like more, dude.
In terms of how much he's been producing, yeah. It feels like he's been producing 150% of the time. It's only been 70%.
Okay, so MbL just spent 455 gold buying food, and he still doesn't have enough.
Yeah, he's going to try and get away with these vills. And he may not here. This is before the Lancers arrive. The Lancers also have the additional attack. And Hera looking prepped to go into the semifinal here. The Lancers can just run right through the TC. He might even run under with the skirms, honestly. The skirms might even be better than the Lancers to dive with. because of their Pierce
I
armor.
mean, once he gets elite, right?
Yep.
Once he gets elite, he's going to be in there. He could snag Bodkin Arrow as well anytime he wants. More Lancers, though, the priority for Hera, and then maybe even a Siege Workshop for it and just start pressuring this. You got map control. Why not?
Yep, MbL, the double berries, the hunt lasting longer. It was 15 farms a moment ago before he lost one, but cannot compete with the pastures. He's been pasteurized here by Hera, and the units are through. And yeah, Hera just knows he's going to hit Castle Age eventually. This is my time. And the Lancers have +4 attack. So say goodbye to everything in MbL's base here that's not in that tower.
Regardless of how this turns out, it feels like it's the beginning of the end here for MbL. It's been a fantastic series. And this is just the Catans, dude. This is the Catans in a nutshell, even after the nerf.
Yeah.
Hera is making use of those pastures, is making use of the Steppe Lancers, the Skirmishers, everything that goes along with that fantastic food eco. And MbL feels like he's just waiting for Castle Age. GG's right now. Great job from Hera. After 2 straight losses, he brings it back, wins Game 7, and he's through. Not an easy series for the champ at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun series, a really fun series. I know there's some people out there who are really hoping, like, can we get that upset? Because it's rare we get the max amount of games when Hera's involved. But it just comes down to small things here or there, right? And that was even with Hera's losses. The games are always super close. For MbL, you might think back to that no-loom castle drop in the arena game. I might think back to the draft and not banning the Catans. But in terms of the Socotra meta, we love our crazy games. We love our Vil fights. But the best players, when they play this map, they're playing walls, food eco, and skirms.
Skirm.
And this Civ masses skirms faster than anyone and has the best food income in the game, in my opinion. So it was very nice preparation from Hera. And that's easier said than done. Like, when you look at the food eco, you look at how that game went, and you're just going to say Civ win, but you have to draft it. You have to plan for that, and you have to draft it over 7 games. So he played it very well.
If you're MbL as well, I think, he seemed confident against the Catans if he didn't ban them out immediately.
With five bans.
It should probably still be an instant ban. Exactly.
Yeah, that's my take. But there's no saying, like, Hera played Incas before and played into skirm numbers and faster Castle Age, similar type of style there. So I think MbL, I feel a little bad for him because he was so close. Also, I feel bad for him because they randomly selected the matchups, and he's up against Hera, who's the world #1, and he almost beat him. So kind of a bummer for MbL because maybe he would have had a chance to get into the semis.
Well, he would have, dude. There was a very good chance, decent chance if he comes second in his group, then he's on the top side of the bracket. And
true.
he faces ACCM, and then he faces Nikov, right? I think that's the way.
So he would have won his group.
So
yeah. That's fair. Unfortunate. I guess that's because Hera didn't win his group, right? Because Hera didn't win his group. Yeah. So had Hera won his group,
MbL was
the
other day when I talked to him, I was like, "Good job on Medieval Masters." He's like, "Yeah, and the one time I play well, I get rewarded with Hera." I mean, I don't think MbL's gonna be too disappointed with this set.
Yeah.
He played really well. Even the games he lost with the arena game aside were kind of competitive, and he kind of nuked himself literally and figuratively in that game with his own Mangadel. Hera also, I will say, went for some unconventional strategies, right? You think of the 1TC plays from him, the super aggressive plays, the fast castle fire lancer on Arabia as well. So he was trying out some new things and figuring out how he's going to get punished for those against an aggressive player like MbL, and just overall a really fun time. Yeah,
fun series. That's exactly what we want. We won 7 games. We didn't have it yesterday. We got it here, so happy with that. There is another series coming up. That'll be Tato against Leary, which on paper coming in, I would have said was even closer than this one. I know you have golf later.
No, I can't. That series lasted 3.5 hours. I don't think I can do the next one.
Got it. All right. Well, it was fun anyways.
7.
If you're on the weekend, just hit me up and we can enjoy those games.
Well, we got to practice as well. We got to get our games in.
Dude, I don't even know. Scheduling is. I severely underestimated how difficult it would be to schedule like the normal content stuff and then schedule to play with people who aren't like full-time players. We're scheduling with people with
you're
jobs
the
and
guy
stuff.
we're scheduling around.
True.
We're not really scheduling around anyone else but you. So it's like, you can just figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
I'm a DGen streamer. I can do stuff whenever I want.
Well, just know that I'm doing my best to make sure we can play our sets next week.
Good job, scheduler.
So I don't think I'm joining for any practice, bro. I think the practice is our tournament. There's no practice involved.
It's not like we're gonna play the tournament, man. So it would just be like playing ranked team games or whatever.
Yeah, that probably won't happen for me, but we'll
Yeah.
see. You know me, I
Okay.
can't help myself. I just got to do other stuff. But anyways, GG's, man. It was fun.
All right.
I'll catch you on the
See you
weekend.
later, bud.
See ya.
Yeah. Peace.